Ladies and gentlemen, we're playing poker in Dallas, baby. It's TCH Live. It's Sunday night, and we are showing you the final table of the inaugural Poker Atlas Payday Poker Tournament. It started as a $250,000 guarantee, and we crushed that, running it up to $477,000 in the prize pool. It was a $600 buy-in, unlimited re-entries. We started on Thursday, and we're now down to our final 9. My name's Ben Kirby. I'm here with Matt Mooring. What's up, Matt?
Not much.
Matt, and I'm also honored to be joined by the CEO of Poker Atlas, John, as well as his assistant, Jamie. John and Jamie, how's it going, y'all?
Hello, hello.
Appreciate
Happy
you.
to be here.
Appreciate y'all being here and for putting on such a fun event. I mean, 1,300 entries on a $600 buy-in in a in the month of May in Dallas, Texas, a pretty impressive feat, I would say. And it was a huge turnout, and the prize pool was very impressive. So I know you guys were excited to see that.
So I got to say, actually, the prize pool, the number you just read off, was actually the prize pool after all of the about $160,000 in bag bonuses.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's after that.
So the actual prize pool was about $650,000.
$650,000.
So we almost tripled the guarantee. Very, very excited.
That's
about that.
awesome. And for those that are tuning in
to
we'll get right back to the prize pool as we see pocket fives versus ace king here. Just
flopping
getting right into it.
A set of fives versus a wrapped pair of aces.
There will easily be an elimination this hand.
Yeah.
Assuming the fives has
John D looks like
already
he's
check
shoving here.
Yeah, the chips are going in on this hand for sure.
Jake hates to see that.
We didn't even get to introduce everybody.
Okay, so it looks like the short stack's got the fives, right?
That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Just barely, but this should close to cripple Jake, it looks like. Unless he's got 5.6 remaining
let's
behind.
See a 4 of clubs on the turn. How about that?
4 of clubs would make it pretty saucy. Shout out to all 244 of you that have already tuned in. In line with the Austin stream, the WPT Steps Final Table as well. Thank you for watching 2 streams at once. We're honored for you to be here. Let us know where you're watching from. All you chat pros, great to see all the familiar faces as we get the pot right. Like John said, we had over 170,000 additional prize pool for those bag bonuses that if you lasted your first day one, you got an additional $800 bag bonus that wasn't part of cashing in the main prize pool. And if you bagged an additional day one, you won another $2,000. So that's what he was referencing earlier, another about 170,000 in the prize pool, which is just bonkers.
Yeah, the pair deuce on the turn really gave John D a scare.
So John D is going.
Escapes the ace.
That was John D, right? That doubled up here.
Yeah.
He's going to double up on the first hand on this final table. A full table of crushers here. They've been playing since Thursday, some of them, and have been playing since 11 a.m. today. So it's a full 3 or 4 days worth of poker for some of these guys. And they're playing for $100,000 up top. Real U.S. TCH dollars. They're guaranteed $8,000 right now off their $600 buy-in, but they're playing for the grand prize of $100,000 up top.
Not to mention the trophy that stands about 5.5 feet tall. Did you
That's
see
right.
the
I did see
there?
that. It's a very Pinewood Derby, Boy Scouts era type trophy that is about 8 feet tall.
I don't think I could take that home tonight if I won. I would have to rent a truck and come back.
That's right. You'd have to get the U-Haul, but it is impressive. Oh, you can see it behind seat one's.
Yep.
Yeah, that's there. Level 1 of 16 on the trophy.
These guys' wives are going to be like, where do you plan to put that trophy in my house tonight? But somebody's going to be very happy to win it. And I imagine the viewership is going to continue to skyrocket here. We're already at 300 people watching. 19 of you liking. That seems pretty unsat given how much money is at stake here and all this free poker content you're getting on a Sunday night. You know, we usually do the Saturday night stream here at TCH Dallas, but we canceled that in anticipation of the massive Sunday night final table.
We could have another big hand right in a row as Acely wakes up with pocket queens.
This is how this tournament's been going so far today. It's been running pretty efficiently in terms of people busting out and getting big hands versus big hand. You know, this tournament last month we were here until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's a much more reasonable hour now at 9 p.m.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure the tournament ran a little quicker just for all of our European viewers.
Yeah.
So we had the
Very
dealers like
considerate.
really deal a bunch of coolers,
That's right. On
and they did a
purpose.
fantastic job.
And, TCH has some of the best, most intentional dealers in terms of dealing out cooler over cooler. It's
You don't
completely under
need
their
any
control.
help with the action here, though. There's
That's true.
Texas action is second to none.
It need not be manufactured because it manufactures itself, because there's something in the water here that causes everybody to play a little crazy.
The oil content, maybe.
Maybe so. So, John, is this your first time in Dallas?
I've been here. I actually grew up in Houston, so I'm
Okay.
familiar with the landscape around Texas. But no, I've been to Dallas a number of times.
Because you're based in Vegas. Poker Atlas is based in Vegas. Anything exciting coming up for the brand? Or what's exciting for you right now with Poker Atlas?
It's funny you asked that question. It's almost like I teed that one up or asked you to ask that question, but I didn't, surprisingly. So, we're just super excited to have such a big presence in the Texas market.
Yeah.
Being a Texan, a Houstonian myself, the Texas market has always been just so near and dear to my heart. And, being such a lover of poker and always wondering, like, why isn't there legal poker in Texas?
Right.
We have to go to Lake Charles or Coushatta or, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nice to see poker just blossoming so well in Texas, and it's really an honor to be such an integral part of that. That being said, we've got a lot of new poker club customers opening up using our Poker Atlas table captain software system here in Texas.
Yeah.
But all over the world, actually, we're about to open with a new, I think, $4 billion casino on the Las Vegas Strip called Resorts World.
Wow.
They'll be using our Poker Atlas table captain software system there, which will be our first sort of major casino presence on the Las Vegas Strip. So that's something very exciting
That's
for us.
outstanding.
I think they open on June 24th, and now that Las Vegas is a no mask required
No plexiglass, all
place, Vegas is just going crazy right now.
Going to blow up. Because you said there was like a 30-table room there, right?
It is, yep, 30 tables.
So that's pretty massive for
I think
Vegas
it's-
even.
Honestly, I think it might be the biggest or second largest poker room in Las Vegas outside of, the World Series venue or additional tables that the Venetian set up and so on. But
Yeah, they're being very aggressive there with their plan.
Hopefully that's a leading indicator of what poker's going to become, kind of having a resurgence in Vegas. I mean, in Texas, it's clearly made a resurgence, and there's a significant foothold with these poker clubs here in Texas, which is great to see that it's an accepted practice and it's an accepted model across all the different major cities here in Texas. So, Poker House has been a huge part of that. I mean, all the clubs here in Texas almost use the software, and it's nice to have one spot to go that's got all the accurate information, including like the one of my favorite things, because I have to track when to be up here, is the live clocks and how you can integrate the tournament and table software with the waiting list and the app, the iPhone app. It's helpful for tracking, especially if you're sweating somebody in the poker tournaments and everything. That's a really cool feature. Ace King versus Ace King here. Looks like it's gonna chop here for their $12 million pot. 12 million chip pot.
The players were all excited, hoping they're going to meet elimination.
I know, because these ladders are pretty significant.
Just a chop.
They're guaranteed 8,000 right now, but the difference between 9th and 8th is 2,000 US dollars. Adam Emerson, what's up? I see you, buddy. I saw you said you min cashed. I think I saw you say that earlier. Hey, it's better than busting. That's for sure. All the chat pros in the chat, coming over from the Austin stream, all the familiar faces. If there's any stream that you could hit the like button on, it should be this one. And we appreciate you doing that. Part of the success of this room and the stream has been thanks to you in the chat that are hitting that like button and telling the algorithm to show all the other poker people in the YouTuberverse that they should come watch TCH live. So appreciate everybody doing that. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it is a huge deal in getting the word out as we approach almost a little over 400 people watching. And we're only like 3 hands in. Adam Emerson, I'll take a piece of you next time, buddy. You just let me know. So, Poker Atlas. What, just for my own curiosity's sake, again, you did not tee up any of these for me. You've teed up 0 questions for me. What inspired the desire to do a live poker tournament? Because you've been working on the software side, you've been working on the online platform side, but what inspired the move to maybe a live tournament presence?
we've always. I mean, first off, I'm a poker player, so and have been for a long time. So really just kind of getting a chance to bring the players and the properties together in some of these really fun events was really sort of the driving force behind it. What we really like to think that we do at Poker Atlas is build relationships between properties and players, and sort of build a communication and a dialogue, if you will, between the poker rooms and the players. And I think it's just the industry. The poker world has so many events going on, but we just like to do what we think the players will enjoy and the properties and the players will benefit from, and create events that are fun, enjoyable, action-packed, and of course, financially rewarding for those that do well in them, in a manner that the players, enjoy, and sort of builds the community component of poker, but also, helps the properties market themselves and showcase their product to the players nearby. That being said, we were looking at where the 1,300 entries came from in this event, and we were surprised to see so many people not from the Dallas area. In fact, this final table alone, I think, has 5 local players and 4, or maybe I have it backwards. It's 4 or 5 folks living here in Dallas, and the other half outside of Dallas.
Wow.
So people came here from Houston, San Antonio. If we look at the entry list, I think there were 100, and of the 1,300 entries, there were about half of those were unique players at an average of 1 re-entry per player on average. So of the approximately 650 unique individuals that played in this tournament, I think 170 of them live outside of the state of Texas.
That's cool.
So really a big draw for this event, and that's kind of why we're doing these events. We think they're fun. We think they're a great way to bring players together in an enjoyable format, and we think it's sort of a win-win between the properties and the players to showcase their nice venues and have the players get a chance to see and experience those venues.
Yeah, I love that, because that's the tension that the poker industry has to deal with, the properties versus what the properties want versus what the players want. And I like that philosophy where you're trying to focus on finding some synergies between the two, because poker players are a pretty particular, demanding bunch, and you want to serve them well, but you also can't completely ignore the side of the properties or the people that are trying to put the service out there. And I think that's a great mindset and mission to have behind Poker Atlas, because you easily could be catering to one or the other, and that immediately alienates half of the customers, because your customers are the players and also the venues. So I like that. And I think it's a testament to the success y'all are having. It's growing. The brand recognition is growing, especially in the state of Texas. So that's really cool. So, again, we saw Ace-9 versus Ace-10 earlier, with Ace-9 out-flopping Ace-10 for his tournament life. I can't remember. It was seat 4. I missed his name. But that was very clutch for him in terms of surviving. And going to check out the chat, I saw Aaron McAvoy. AA Ron, you got, 42nd. One of the esteemed commentators from the Austin branch, a tournament crusher. Better luck next time.
And Don, do you know how many people double bagged in this tournament? Do you have that information?
Yes, I think I do. I want to say there were a total of 14 double bags.
Okay.
Nice. Multi-bags, if you will.
I was expecting a lot more.
I was too. I think one change that we're going to make in the format is we're going to sort of better spread the two in the scenario where we have 2 starting flights on the same day, which we did here. We had day 1A and B on Thursday, and 1C and D on Friday, and E and F on Saturday. But unfortunately, the way we set it up, with the amount of time late registration happened and so on, there wasn't enough time gap between each flight.
Okay.
For
so
those
people
same
could play
days,
the morning and the afternoon.
You could not play. Well, you couldn't finish you couldn't survive one of the flights and then jump in
I
the
see.
next flight. So, it really sort of limited the capability of players to
Yeah.
win the double bags.
I think that is a lot of value in these tournaments, is being able to double bag too. I've worked and played in several of these, and the more fields you can play, the more value there is. There's so much in that double bag money, multi-bag money.
Yes, exactly. So that was, again, this is our very first event. We sort of planned it to go one way, and we're very happy with the outcome. But if there's a couple of things we're going to change and improve for the next event, that's definitely one, just to really open up the opportunity for more double bags, because
The players all seemed very happy. I didn't hear a lot of complaining from people, which is pretty rare in the poker field.
It's very rare.
So-
Yeah, we were just really enthusiastic to hear how much positive feedback we got on the bag bonuses. It's sort of like a way to win without winning,
Yes.
and something that slot machines can offer sometimes. You hit a bonus or some sort of payout that's unrelated to the jackpot you're playing for, but still kind of a nice consolation, if you will.
Absolutely. So we just saw an open and then a reship by Phillip with his 15 big blind stack. He's going to get it through with ace queen versus Aaron's king queen open. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of that. We've got a few stacks that are just reship stacks, 15, 14 big blinds. I know the players are very concerned about or they should, I don't know, depending on how you view it. They're probably concerned about the pay jumps, and so making some ICM considerations, but I think it's a good sign that we're seeing players open, re-raise, get it all in there. We've seen already a few all-ins that have basically all gone in the favor of the guy at risk. So we will continue on with the next hand. Stephen B opening it, ace-10 suited under the gun. Aaron K coming along to complete in the big blind with queen-10 off.
Looks like a 10 flopped, 10 high
looks
board,
like
if
it.
I can see that right.
Yeah, I think so.
A little bit of glare. Hard to see. 4 deuce 10. So this could get a little saucy
Could be
here.
another big pot on the horizon.
Aaron's going to check in flow, and Stephen B is going to continue in flow, betting 600K of his 4.7 million chip stack. A lot of fun faces here in the chat. Our fearless leader of leaders, Ryan Crow, in the chat. Big thanks to John and the Poker Atlas team for making this tournament happen. I know Ryan is very invested in this tournament going well, and so I'm glad that he's pleased with how everything's going.
Aaron puts in a big raise. Only drawing at 12%.
I think we could easily see both stacks slide into the middle here on such a dry board with two pretty decent top pair hands.
Yep, there's one of them going in.
And the board is just so dry, as you said, and so Aaron K has got to be thinking, like, dude, how do I...
And there's the call chip.
Because Stephen B's probably shoving all of his ace-queens and ace-kings there on that board. And so Stephen B's actually in really good shape to get a full double here. As we get the pot squared away, 11 million chip pot, which is not too shabby. We're playing... Looks like 200K, 400. No, I'm sorry. 150K, 300K with a 300K big blind ante. There is the wrong AA Ron is at this table. Yep, AA Ron. The OG AA Ron is in the chat, unfortunately, busting out 42nd.
Yeah, he came and played and showed up, but
that man knows his poker.
Couldn't go the distance.
Fun fact, I went down there and auditioned for my commentary spot with him in the Austin stream earlier this year. And I very quickly realized how little I actually knew about poker because he is so smart. So it's going to run out clean here for Stephen B, who's going to get that full double up, and Aaron K is going to get kind of crippled here. 9
No
big
eliminations yet, but some big pots going on early here in the tournament. People are going for the win.
That's right. Let us know who... In the chat, let us know who you're rooting for and who you would have your money on shipping this thing. I mean, it's anybody's game right now. But I imagine once these blinds continue to rise, these players are going to start getting it in there, maybe a little lighter than they are currently. We've only seen premiums. And can you blame them? They're playing for $100,000 up top.
They still have plenty of room with the blinds and the chip stacks, but later on, as it gets tighter, we'll see some more all-ins and eliminations.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure many people are folding queen 10 off in the big blind there to complete for, 500K more chips. Maybe he needed a reshove. I can't remember what his stack
the
size
hand,
was.
pretty much as they say, played themselves. Hard to get away from once you hit top pair on that dry board.
Yeah. Hand number 8, 150, 300. Leo Black attempting king 8 suited under the gun +3, but yeah, probably a fold. Ackley D, Jack 3 suited in the button. Imagine this early on in this final table, it's going to be pretty straightforward. Most of these guys are going to be trying not to get out of line. They've been playing for several days. They know how important this position is.
We'll see if Aaron tries to get some of his chips back.
Yeah, suited, 6 deuce in the small blind. Blind versus blind here.
Small blinds.
And he's just going to ship it here. I don't
Good
really blame
for
him.
a raise, and he does. He goes all in.
It's a pure steal right here. Stephen B.
Hard for the big blind to call without a premium hand.
But he hasn't looked at his cards yet. Making Aaron K sweat a little bit, asking for a count. Stephen B hasn't. He's just folding. So that's his one steal. I think that Aaron K, hopefully, he doesn't really love putting his tournament life at stake with 6 deuce often, but sometimes you got to do that in order to survive the orbit.
Especially in these with the big blind ante there, and it's folded to him in the small blind. There's just so much equity in putting your chips in there.
Yeah. What type of poker do you generally play, John? Do you play much anymore, and do you prefer tournaments over cash? What's your game?
You know, I'm a sort of a long-time cash player, turned tournament player, turned cash player, back to tournaments.
Turned whatever's available.
Honestly,
player.
I love all forms of poker, but I'd say deep down, tournaments are really my favorite, and it's really just the ability to put up sort of a small amount and win a big amount.
Yeah.
Just the thrill of going deep in a tournament is something that anyone who's had a taste of it just understands that it's, you know, there's no better feeling in the world than making a final table and, you know, progressing up to the point where you are the last man standing. It's just an amazing feeling.
Yeah, it's just such a multiplication of your buy-in that is, you know, you generally don't get that feeling much when you play cash. Because often you don't even let yourself get to that point. Like if you win a couple buy-ins, you're like, all right, I'm good enough. But in a tournament, getting top 3 is oftentimes could be life-changing money for some people.
Yeah, these guys bought in for 600, and someone could walk away with 100,000.
I mean, they've already turned it into $8,000, which is pretty impressive. I mean, that's what the first place of our weekend tournament usually wins, $8,000 to $10,000. So these guys are already guaranteed that, which is pretty cool. John D going to take it down. Pocket Kings here.
Nobody here wants 8,000 though. They're all eyeing the top.
That's right. Yeah, so huge. Shout out again. We're almost at 600 people watching. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in another Sunday night, trying to avoid those Sunday scaries maybe for work tomorrow. Appreciate you joining us and tuning in. Maybe doing a little escapism. Try not to think about tomorrow. Let me see who else is here. I saw some other familiar faces. I saw Bart, not Hansen, earlier. It looked like he fun tourney. Late reg was short, but he understood. Yep, Bart's one of our regular tournament crushers. He's made like 14 final tables this year already, which is pretty cool. That's an exaggeration, but he's won a lot. 100K minus 30% tax. Yeah, you know, the feds are watching, but everybody.
I'd love to complain about paying tax on 100,000.
I'm very open to paying 30%
I'm down
on
for
100K.
those problems.
It hurts, but it's also better than having nothing. Tired from watching Rampage get stacked last night. Yeah, he did have an interesting cash experience last night.
Kings again.
Carlos Tovar. Why play 4 days for 100K when you could lose 85K in 3 hours? A la the Tuesday night game. Yeah. There's been a lot of premium hands. Pretty much every single hand we've had out of the 8 or 10 we've played.
He's at 1.1 million, a big raise with Kings.
Ackley D. We'll see if anybody. Philip C. could look him up in the big blind with pocket twos. He's already reshipped about 2 or 3 times with hands of this size, and he's going to get out of the way smartly.
Folds, huh?
Nice fold. Taking a look at the chips, John D. and Stephen B. leading the way with Aaron K. and Philip C. bringing up the bottom. Everybody is concerned about those 2 short stacks because those literally equal $2,000 and $3,000 pay differentials. So the rest of the field is waiting for those smaller stacks to hopefully get it in there. Although so far the smaller stacks have been able to survive their all-ins. Isabel K. just popped in to watch my husband. LOL. I know nothing about poker no matter how many times he tries to teach me, but good luck to these guys playing tonight.
Who's your
Smiley
husband?
face. Isabel K. Who's your husband? We were happy to give him a shout-out. Chris Robinson, 420. I don't understand a 3.5x open with King. Yeah, the newer school of thought generally leans towards the smaller opens.
Yeah, he could have got deuces to call with a smaller raise and got some value from a hand he crushed if he would have came in smaller. But
he might not be trying to mess around.
Yeah, that's one of those hands though where you're not getting a lot of action off those deuces unless he flops the deuce, in which case you're in pretty deep SHIT, if I can say that on the show.
Yeah,
okay.
that's good. It's kind of the Wild
you're losing
West.
value, but you're staying out of trouble too. So there's two ways to think about that hand.
Ackley D back at it again. Ace-10 off, under the gun +3, and Aaron K is going to immediately reship here in the hijack with ace-jack off. All the aces in the deck seem to be gone.
Ace-10 certainly a foldable hand here.
Yeah, I mean, now he's going to have to fold to a 3-bet, most likely, for a third of his stack.
Yeah, you don't want to lose a third of your stack at this point. Ace-10 isn't ahead of practically any hand that's doing this. Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say the Queen-9 could have called there in the big blind had there not been a raise and a re-raise.
But he does call.
Yeah. Oh, he calls. Oh, all right. We're gambling. He said, all right, let's play for 2,000 real dollars here. Ace-Jack versus Ace-10. Aaron K's tournament life on the line. This is about as good a position as he could put himself in to double up. $7.5 million in the middle. Headed to a pretty important flop here for Aaron. How about a 10 in the hole?
And he
Oh,
just
my
hits
gosh.
it.
A 10 in the hole. Aaron K is dead to either running straight cards or a jack. Oh, how about a jack?
Oh,
And
man.
now that Queen-9 who folded actually would have taken the whole pot down.
Wow,
Yeah.
so that was dramatic.
The
Aaron
suck
K,
re-suck.
Yeah, the suck re-suck. Aaron K was bemoaning his position and then catches a miracle jack on
Anybody
the
can
turn.
hit a 3-outer.
And that's tournament poker there for you, people.
Wow. Worst to first to worst again for Ackley, who dishes over about 300,000 or 3 million, excuse me.
Gosh, the chat is very lively tonight. Thank you so much. Almost 700 of you watching. Y'all must be sweating. Y'all must have a piece of this action here for the final table. A lot of backers here in the chat. I can't even keep up with it all. Sweet mercy. A lot of names being thrown around that I've never heard of. But we appreciate your engagement for sure. A lot of these people I have never seen before. I see Racer Nerd. If you're watching, you're liking. That's what he or she always says. Jeffrey George, SBLK, usually that's bad luck, the woman watching. She's just trying to make sure that she's getting an accurate count at the end of the night. So, Matt, you don't play too many tournaments these days, do you?
Me? No,
Yeah.
not too many. I was gonna play this one on my day off, and but I was just not really feeling it. Decided to take a day off.
People that don't know, Matt Mooring is the term workaholic doesn't do it justice. This man works a ton. He is always here, serving up the best possible poker service you could ever imagine. JT in 1968, the 10 came on the flop because Ben Kirby said ace-jack was in the best position. Yeah, all right, I'm probably going to hear about that later, jinxing that guy. But, depends on who you're rooting for, I guess.
Tuna raises one of the local players here.
Tuna, he plays the cash games a lot.
He is. He's here every day playing. Actually, it's very impressive. He's got a really wild, uninhibited cash style, which is far different from the type of game that it takes to make a final table of a tournament like this. So it shows a lot of diversity in his game.
Oh, Isabel K says, see, I'm not the only spouse watching, but my guy is just the dealer. Okay, that's different.
Well, he's done a fine job so far.
Absolutely.
He definitely won't be the next to bust.
Let's hope not. That'd be a real issue. That would be a real issue, but we are huge fans of, we're biased, but we're huge fans of the dealers here at Texas Card House. We've got the best of the best from all over the country, including the World Series and all the highfalutin places in Vegas. They said, you know what, I'd rather have a low cost of living and own a house, move from L.A. over here to Dallas, Texas, to lead the way in terms of the poker resurgence in Texas.
Yeah, I had a friend come in town and play. He's a World Series supervisor. Came here from Florida and played, and was very complimentary of the dealers and the staff here.
That's awesome.
There were 30 people that bagged in his flight, and he got 31st place. So,
And he still said nice things about that.
Well, that's a testament.
I think that was before the bust out.
You can't blame him. Let's see. Pez, what's up, chat pros? The viewers continue to go up. People are interested in the conclusion of this 250K guarantee. 1,300 entries started. 477,000 in the main prize pool with an additional 170,000 in bag bonuses. And we're on to the next hand. We're still playing 150-300. Those orange and white chips are 100K. The
green chips are 500K.
The green
Yes.
chips are 500K.
The grayish are around, I think, the 25K chips.
Yep. And that's all that's out there. We'll probably see the million chip plaques come out at some
Yeah, the
point.
reds are 100, and we have million plaques that will definitely be out later, as a few of these players are eliminated.
Pez says, I only went for the $600 T-shirt.
Ackley raised.
I've won plenty of those kind of T-shirts.
I like Ackley's raised with ace-5 suited, but he goes right into pocket kings and Steve.
Lots of kings at this final table.
Yeah, the dealers are doing what they came to do.
I dealt to Steven a couple times over the past couple of days. He's a very, very solid player. I was very impressed with his play.
So Ackley opens again, ace-5 suited. He's opened in early position with some of these weaker aces here. And Stephen B, understandably, is 3-betting about 3x with his pocket kings.
Ackley might be a little steamed here from that ace-jack. Wasn't he the one that just had the the ace-10?
versus ace-jack, yeah. Outflopped him
So-
and then got re-sucked out on. Usual suspect, what up?
This could be a nope.
Yeah.
He's made the right move.
See, that's the trouble with opening an early position with those weaker aces is you just have to fold to a 3-bet, and that's kind of spewy at this stage. But also, I'm sitting in this booth making way less than what these gentlemen are making.
Yeah, I think early position, I like to go with the philosophy, if you can't call or act off a re-raise, don't put your money in the first place.
Yeah, it's just the chips are so valuable right now. And this is just like such a pinnacle point of the tournament that if you're not careful, you could easily, win your 8,000 versus the 30K at fourth place,
There hasn't been a lot of 3-betting either, at least, without premium hands. So
Yeah.
I don't mind the raise at all. I think a little surprised to not see more raising without premium hands right now, just because there's not a lot of 3-betting.
Yeah, so in case if he sees the tables playing more passively than just he's able to open a little wider, not fearing that 3-bet, and it's just unfortunate that he did.
Yeah,
run into somebody 3-betting.
now's really the ideal time to just step up aggression. We got so many, the payouts are a little bit steep. There's 100,000 up top, 6 or 8,000 right now to the 9th place finisher. A lot of people, I think, here are sort of secretly just trying to play very passive and
They're
get
over-folding,
uninvolved, just so
basically.
they're just trying to get up a couple. They're probably telling themselves, oh, once we get down to 7 players, I'll start to gamble. But right now, I just, want to wait for those payouts to
And
increase
at
a
that
bit.
point, the blinds will be up a lot more, too, and they're going to have a lot less room to 3-bet and not be all in. So this would be the time to make moves with creativity.
So Alan T is going to come along on the button with ace-jack off, calling Stephen B's open. And it looks like we're heads up, 2.2 million in the pot. Huge stack versus a very small stack. Jack 10 versus ace-jack. Stephen B will probably continue on this board.
That's a great flop to c-bet here.
And he does for, it looks like, 600.
Ace-jack can't call here.
Not with that chip stack, I don't think. Maybe if the roles were reversed, but look, what do we know?
Or can he?
Alan T's got the soul read working.
I think that would be a good place for a raise right there. I think he has the range advantage on the button with that low flop.
Oh, yeah, deuce of diamonds on the turn. Changes nothing for either player, and Stephen B's like, all right, well.
Like I said, this would be a great place for Allen to make a move.
But he's got to basically, he's got 3.1
Solid.
million. There's 3.25 or 3.4 in the pot, and he's going to bet about half of his stack, it looks like. a third of a stack.
And it works.
Nice bet. That's a huge win for him.
Good read. Floats the flop. Gets the check on the turn.
Nice
uses
play.
his aggression to take it down.
Made
Nice.
luck for himself there. Outstanding. See, I'm just going broke on that hand somehow. Jack-10 versus Ace-Jack. It's always the worst feeling when you try to run a bluff.
You
You're
should
like
come play
one
my
time.
home tournament sometime, Ben.
Yeah.
It's just heads up, me and you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I still don't like my odds. 50%. Yeah, it's like when you see bet on a complete bluff and you see the guy in position call, you're like, God dang it, now what do I do? Do I just run a triple barrel bluff and just destroy my stack here and all my ICM? Or do I just check give up and chalk it up to a spew?
Steven and Tuna both fold. Tuna hasn't even gotten involved in a hand yet.
Philip C. He's had several small pocket pairs here. He's got $5 million in chips. It might be worth an open for him, but alas, because he knew John D. had a bigger pair right behind him. 1.1 million.
It's hard playing against psychic poker players.
That's right. And I could see all the cards. John D.'s got 12 million behind. Huge raise here, 1.1 million. Not huge, but it's like almost 4x.
It's pretty big at this stage. They could be going smaller. And
Alan T. again with Ace-Jack in the cutoff. Again, he's going to call an open. Steven, scared money don't make money, but it does make commentators. Wow. Yeah, that's a roast for sure, but it's true. So on this flop, King 9-8, 2 hearts. John D's going to check it over to Alan T.
so Alan's really playing aggressive off these checks.
This is a terrible flop for pocket tens, it seems. Maybe not terrible, but
Alan is likely to have a
board.
king.
I mean,
here.
his hand is very transparent at this point. I've kind of been observing how he's been playing in the last couple tables, John, and he's
ABC a little bit.
very ABC. So when he just sort of reluctantly calls there, it's pretty transparent that he's sitting on probably tens, jacks, something right in that range.
I like Alan's bet. Very value based. He's going to get John
Yeah, that
in.
king's a good card for John because now it just sort of neutralizes a lot of.
7 million chip pot here. How about a full house?
Oh, that's
So
a great
that's-
card for John. Alan would have given him stronger pre-flop
Let's go
action
check
had he
here.
had a bigger pair.
John D's going to want a 7 million chip pot for his. He started with about 11 or 12 million, so he's up to 17 million. Pretty understandable VPIP numbers here so far. 31% is about as high as you could expect for.
I was going to say I expected a very aggressive bet from Alan on the river until that third king popped up. That kind of stole all the wind out of his sails. But I think that pot was up for grabs.
JT in 1968 with the $10 super chat. Cookies and milk for Ben and Matt after the stream. LOL. Thanks, dude. Always appreciate the support. Thanks for the super chat.
Am I not here? What, I don't get a cookie?
$10 for cookie between
Can you-
4 people is.
Can you refund that guy's money? We don't even want his money.
No, we do want your money, actually. Don't.
And no nuts in my cookies, please. Just chocolate chips.
Yeah, don't ruin the cookies with nuts.
Commentators can't be choosers. That's the rule. Whatever you bring is fine, JTN.
Okay, that's what I thought. Nasty Nate, Jake in seat 5 actually plays for Team Envy, which is Dallas's professional esports team, who plays Valorant, and he used to play Counter-Strike.
Which one is that?
The guy in the white hoodie here,
Oh, okay.
Jake, who's all in for 4.1 million. He apparently plays for Team Envy, which is one of the major esports teams in the country.
It's a pretty loose jam here with 4.1. But it looks like it's going to get through.
He's wearing the Dallas Empire hoodie, which is the Call of Duty professional esports team based here in Dallas. Must be nice to play video games and poker for a living.
Yeah, I hear a lot of those guys talking about it, and they're obviously professional players.
Gosh.
It always intrigues me.
See,
how those
Mom and
guys
Dad, you should have just
make
let
so
me
much
play
money
video
playing
games.
video games, yeah.
Now I just get to talk about other people playing games for a living.
What did my parents know?
Yeah.
You're never going to get anywhere playing poker and video games all the time.
Sheesh. A lot of Jake fans in the chat. What up, y'all? Thanks for being here. Maybe that's part of the 837 people watching right now. We usually don't get this kind of traction for a poker tournament.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
It is John. John does
I'm the
bring
draw.
heat.
They
Yeah.
call me John the Draw Friedberg.
Oh, yeah? That's a pretty sweet nickname.
I'm kidding.
you
But
have
I
a-
did tell my mom that I'll be live streaming, and she probably told all her mahjong friends.
Oh, nice.
So let's say 30 of them are probably a bunch of 75-year-old women from Houston watching.
So at 10 o'clock when they go to bed, it's all
Huge
our
mahjong.
viewership's going to drop like a
Huge
rock.
in the mahjong community. If anybody here is from Team NB, holler at me after this. I did interview for a job there a few months ago. I would love to get some follow-up on that. Just kind of shameless plug there. JTN 1968 again with a $10 super chat. Cookies and milk for all caps everyone.
All right.
LOL.
Thank you.
JT, you got any more visits to Dallas TCH lined up? Let us know.
Absolutely.
Love to see you again, buddy. And you don't have to bring us cookies this time, but it's always welcome. So no eliminations yet.
Yeah, the chips have been
Several
flying.
all-ins. They have been some big pots, but as it seems to happen, the short stack's staying alive.
Let's see. If Jake wins, I hop on me. Okay, bet. Verbal bets are binding in the poker world. Any other esports fans in the chat? Mogal, I'm assuming you're an esports fan. If you like esports, you should come through TCH Dallas because we're playing, some of a sport ourselves here in the poker streets. Pretty good crossover.
I was about to say, I bet he raises this with being folded to in the small blind. King high's a pretty premium hand in that position. But
Blind versus blind. Phillips kind of not defend with the Jack-10. I guess his stack size is kind of hard to maneuver with that particular hand. John D. crushing right now. Up 10 million chips since the start of this final table, with Stephen B. coming in second so far. James Choice, roses on me. Nice.
I think
lot of
Jack-10
free-
certainly a hand that could have put some action in on there.
Pez, that's right. Verbal bets in the chat are binding. Racing Nerd Poker is live esport. That's right. Almost 900 watching. Let's beat the Tuesday night stream numbers if we're going to go at this rate. There's still 9 people left at this final table, and we almost have 900 people watching live right now.
Leo with King Queen under the gun. I think this is the first hand he's played tonight. Coming in for a raise. 600. Just a small bet under the gun. Looks pretty powerful as he stares down the line at the opposition.
Yeah, he's got some image playing in his favor. Anybody else in the chat play this event this week? Let us know. Let us know what your experience was, or how soft the T-shirts were, or how the cash games were. I mean, it's been popping off this week.
Philip has a playable hand. Man.
Oh, get in there, John. Let's see some action here. Call.
Ooh, yeah, very
300K
tempting.
more you have to call here.
16 million behind in the big blind. How do you know?
Philip and John certainly had the odds to get in there and splash around, and definitely had some good hands.
Love that hand. The
Yeah.
10-8 of diamonds.
Heads up, 1.7 in the pot. Ace 5-9.
Love that 9 in the door, too, but sucks when the ace and
Yeah.
5 peel off behind it.
Not much for anybody here.
The old no pair, no draw flop.
John D
Yeah.
checking his watch randomizer.
Leo and John
Check
with the
fold, yeah.
snap fold. Of course, it's pretty hard to continue against a pre-flop raiser on that board unless you have a big
It's
ace.
just a weird board if you don't completely smash it. Looking at the payouts there, pretty saucy up top. 100K for first, 70K for second. Let's hope we get there soon. We don't exactly want to be here till 7 a.m., but we will be here till 7 a.m. if that's what it takes.
We might be at this rate of eliminations.
My wife would absolutely love that.
Was that sarcasm?
That was big sarcasm.
I'm sure her and the baby are just sleeping soundly.
Yeah, for sure. She loves me coming to the card house while she takes care of the newborn.
Hey, got to keep those lights on.
That's right.
Baby food, right?
Yeah. We'll see if I can keep the lights on. I need to start playing poker tournaments if I want to actually keep the lights on.
He's been folding for a while. All in, $5.3 million.
That is a big raise.
That is a big raise with pocket eights. It's kind of a weird middling position to be in, under the gun +2 with $5 million behind. It's like you don't want to fold, but you also, what do you do when you open and get shipped
Yeah, he's
on?
got one of those awkward stack sizes. Definitely don't want to raise and get shipped on.
And an awkward hand. It's a hand that needs a lot of protection. It's very vulnerable. There's really no good flops for it that don't include an 8.
That's not a bad raise. I mean, when you stick it in with 8s here, you get a lot of, tough hands to beat fold. You can oftentimes get 9s to fold here. Ace Jack, Ace 10s, Ace Queens are going to fold a lot of the time, rather than risking, 17 BBs or whatever that.
Any hand that does
math
call you're in
is.
trouble with, but the odds of them having a bigger pair, fairly slim.
T. Weiss, I saw your super chat, but I was confused about the message too. If you want to change it. Cole Hewson, me and my mom that is recovering from a cancer surgery are watching. Go Caboose. Man, thanks for watching. Hope your mom recovers completely. Thanks for the comment. Good to hear from you.
Exactly. Is he going to do it again?
Justin0627, when the Valorant community takes over the poker stream, yeah, I've got a feeling this is what's happening. All these esports bubbas taking over this poker comment stream.
Did he say all in, or did he just raise to 1.3?
1.3.
Okay.
I think I just would have done the same thing. Play off your image. Hope you get the same results. But he just might get the same results. As everybody folds garbage back around to him. And there you go. Picks up about a cool 1.5 million off all that.
Some of these stats, aren't super significant right now since our sample is kind of small, but as the night progresses, those stats will be a little more reliable.
Actually going to go for 3 in a row with 8-5 off.
I'll take the under.
Probably not. Probably not. I would have been impressed.
The usual suspect winner gets to play in the next Buildo game. Yeah, you get one buy-in for the Buildo game on Tuesday night. For those that don't know, that are maybe new to the stream, on Tuesday nights we play 5, 10, 20, 40, 1,000, no limit. Not tournament, but a cash game, and there are some pretty high rollers that come through. It's a pretty fun stream to watch if you've never tuned in on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Yeah, John, I highly recommend you check out our Tuesday streams. They are some of the best poker you're going to find online.
I keep hearing about it.
They live up to everything you've heard.
What does it take to get in that game?
A lot of money.
You said it's 5, 10, 20, 40, 1,000?
Well, I mean, they straddle for ridiculous amounts.
Okay.
It starts
It's
5
a
to
3-blind
20.
game.
5, 10, 20 usually.
Got it.
I think most people bought in for about 20 to 30, and one guy, Bildo, bought in for 75.
Yeah, it's just, for this town, it's just crazy to see that in a room that's usually playing like 1, 2, and 2, 5. Like they've just got the massive stacks of plaques that we have $1,000 plaques out there. It's pretty baller. Outside of a Vegas or LA or Atlantic City to see a game like that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't heard word. Maybe our producer can let us know what game is lined up for Tuesday, if it's going to be the 5-10-25 or the 5-10 again. But I'm sure the viewers would love to know that going into it. I'm sure we can give them that information tonight. But that game's just been getting bigger and better every week.
Mad Benjamin, the Tuesday night game is like playing Russian roulette with a crossbow. I don't know.
With a crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even understand that, but it sounds funny to me.
That doesn't sound so fun because you can see if there's an arrow in the
Yeah, I
crossbow,
know. I was
whereas
trying to think of the
in a
mysterious-
revolver you can't see the bullet.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you know when you're gonna. Well, someone's got aces. Stephen B with the bullets.
Stephen B, first time to see the pocket aces tonight. He's going to come along. Is that a limp? 300K? No, raise to
I think it's
700.
7. Yeah,
Raise to 7. I like that raise.
same size bet as his other pre-flop raises, I believe.
The other people have been betting a lot bigger. He's been keeping his around that 2.2 margin. Trying to invite some weaker hands in to get value, but nobody's going to bite.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. I mean, it's nice to win a hand, but it's unfortunate to not get any kind of value with that kind of hand. But also, we haven't seen many people get out of line so far.
You know, just when we were down to 2 tables, I think there were maybe 13 or 14 players. There was a hand where there was short stack shoves, another short stack reshoves, another guy reshoves, fourth guy looks down at aces, reshoves.
Jeez.
Ended up with 4 players all in, and the aces end up holding. Someone else flopped a set, I think of 6s or 8s or something, and it came diamond on the turn and river to give the aces a flush. No pair on the board.
The whole room noticed.
Oh yeah.
It was a loud hand.
That's cool. Nice buzz in the room when that happens. And that could happen easily on any one of these hands. Every hand is an independent event. It's weird how tournaments like have flow and momentum though, like that, where it seems like certain periods of tournaments everybody busts really, really quick, and then other times it's just a complete grind. Bunch of napkins so far of this hand. Alan T might consider it with ace-7 off in the cutoff. He's only got 3.4 though. Probably turning. Oh, this sucks for him. So he's going to open 700 in the cutoff. Understandably, Jake here is going to reship with ace-queen off on the button.
Yeah, it's hard to fold ace-7 with that little left. Be left with 2 million.
Gold Class Gaming. This is not winner take all. So far, all these players are guaranteed a portion of the remaining prize pool. So for 9th place, whoever gets eliminated 9th place is going to win $8,000. 8th place person is going to win $10,000 all the way up. The last person remaining is going to win $100,000. Good question. Tropical TV, what are the payouts? 100K for first, 70K for second, 46K for third, and right now all the players are guaranteed $8,000.
And Alan does wisely fold, keeping 2 million of his stack. Knows that ace-7's pretty garbage against any hand that gives him action back.
So the blinds look to go up 200K, 400K with a 400K ante, as well as a new dealer in the box, it looks like, as Jake. I think that might be the first pot he's dragged tonight, the Esports Crusher, apparently. Nice hand to him with the ace-queen off. Lot of... Yeah, we're at 930 of you watching. There's 135 of you liking. Let's increase that ratio a little bit. Burn that half calorie and smash that thumbs up button for us if you don't mind. That would be a huge help. Let's try to get these likes up to 500 tonight.
Yeah, that's a pretty weak ratio. We should be about 500 right now.
That's right. We've got almost 1,000 of you watching on your Sunday night. Nobody wants to think about work tomorrow. They just want to think about other people playing for huge amounts of money.
Call in sick right now. Hit your like button.
Yeah, we're going to be here for a while, I think.
As we have Amber pitching the cards.
Shout out to Amber, one of our fearless dealers. Yeah, the blinds, now that they're 200, 400, some of these, 3 and 4 million chip stacks are really going to have to start push folding here.
Tuna coming in big with the ace deuce.
Under the gun?
You talk about fearless players. Tuna is one of those guys.
And he's probably recognized that there's now $1 million dead money in the pot before even cards get dealt.
He's probably also recognized there's really a lack of pre-flop action altogether.
Yeah, so time for kind of a gear change. And this might actually get through. There's a good chance of getting through, especially with all these trash hands, obviously.
And when you got 25% of the aces in your hand, you got a little something.
Stephen B's got a stack that could really hurt him. But Tuna is going
Show
to
him the
say,
deuce.
ship it.
Show him the
please
deuce.
show the deuce. It'd be so good. But maybe he thought better of it.
They'll see it later.
Nick Papa Giorgio, work. I'm going to Vegas tomorrow. Nice. Take us with you. Vegas is probably popping off right now that there's no masks and plexiglass.
No masks. I think most places are back to 100% capacity or near it.
Gosh, they were just itching to get back to quote-unquote normal.
They didn't waste any time. Just like Phillips not going to waste any time right here. He's been waiting for a big hand.
Let's see how he reacts.
And here it is. Is he going to jump out of his seat?
Yeah. Staring at a couple extra seconds here.
Do I really have aces? Do I really have
about
aces?
his good fortune. $4 million behind, under the gun.
Count to 20, so nobody knows I have aces. And a pretty conservative raise.
900,000 or $1 million. Makes it $1 million
1
off of
million.
his 400K blind.
He's saying to himself, please shove, please shove, please
Ooh,
shove.
yeah.
And he's going to, there's a shove.
There is a shove.
That's what he likes to
Ackley
see. Someone else,
D.
please shove, please shove, please shove.
Ackley D is very much at. Oh, wait. Philip C's tournament life will be all in.
He looks again. Yeah, I still got him. They haven't
It's a call.
changed.
I've got
Okay,
aces.
I call.
Ackley says, I've got pocket nines. So for Philip C's tournament life, 2 black aces under the gun, 87% equity. He dodges a 9. He dodges another 9 on the turn, and he's going to run pure, getting a full double up. 8.8 million chips for Philip C. That's the one he was waiting for. Ackley D here, unfortunately, is crippled down to 2 million chips.
Yeah, he came to the table, one of the chip leaders, and has doubled up a couple short stacks and lost a couple other hands. But, hey, it could be his turn to get one of those double ups next. And Phillips' patience pays off, as he folded a couple little baby pairs earlier.
Yeah, nice. It's nice for aces to work out for you at this stage of the tournament. Now
You like
he's-
seeing him win. It's like,
yeah, it's like
good things happen.
justified.
Good things happen sometimes.
It feels just. Absolutely.
That's not what Ackley's saying, though.
200 likes so far. I like the momentum we've got. Let's keep running it up. And also, if you're in the Dallas area, Texas Card House Dallas is alive and well right now. We're running full capacity right now for cash poker. So if you're interested in playing, getting in on some of this no limit hold'em and even some PLO, we're running through the night, baby. Come through. We have at least the last I checked, like 15-ish tables going. 7 1-2 tables, 4 2-5 tables, 1 1-2 PLO, 2 Big O tables. So that's, math is hard, 14 tables right now, and everybody's got there's lists for all those games. So come through if you're, just quit your job tomorrow and play poker all night tonight. Just do
Actually,
it.
Sundays are one of the best days to play here. I think it has some of the best action and some of the most fun tables, fun players here. So if you're not doing anything on Sunday in Dallas,
That's right.
come on down.
Or if you're in Austin, same for the Austin market, Houston, and Rio Grande Valley. Those picnic chairs hurt my back. Well, those are temporary. Has TCH gone 24 hours yet?
Yes, starting today.
Starting today. That's confirmed?
Starting this week. Confirmed by me. I just said it. What else do you need?
I mean, you said that with so much confidence.
Well,
I believe you.
okay.
So we are 24 hours starting today. I mean, as if it hasn't been running like that for the past 6 months, really.
Wow,
Really
the
close.
reshove here with ace-5, that's aggressive.
So Ackley D, is very short stacked, putting it in with a suited jack here, and Aaron K.
I think they probably smell a little tilt in the air. Correctly smell
Aaron
a little
K.
tilt.
again in a very good position.
He's saying, what? You shoved on me with that shit?
More clubs, 9-9 deuce, ace on the
Drawing
turn.
dead now.
So now Ackley D is going to
Wow.
be eliminated in 9th place. Ackley D is going to take home $8,000. Congrats to him. Great showing by him. Unfortunate not to go deeper, but it's nice to cash after a couple days of poker. Turning $600 into $8,000 is
Not
still a
bad.
pretty good return. All these other players have An additional sigh of relief now that they've laddered up one more. All these players are now guaranteed $10,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Am I counting wrong? How many players are left? 1,
8.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8. So everybody else is guaranteed $10,000 now. So GLGL to Ackley D. Always sucks to bust out of a tournament. It's never a good feeling, even if you do win money. Nismo TV is a $600 buy-in with unlimited re-entries.
And it was confirmed by my producer. Tuesday is going to be the 10-25-50 game.
Wow.
I guess we upped it from the 5-10. I don't know the player lineup, but I heard some talking, and there's some really active players that are going to come in and make it very entertaining. I can't wait. It's my favorite day of the week to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a different buzz in the air on Tuesdays when they're playing that huge game because it's just like it's a remnant of a time gone by. People just slinging money around like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, poker's gotten to such like a mathematical formula, but here people still
this is like the saloon game.
It is. It is. And I love it when people show up just thinking they can bust the game up. And they just they leave with their head down. God, what just happened?
I lost $30,000 to a guy playing 9-4 offsuit. A lot of fans of Jake Caboose in the chat. Probably because of that cool hoodie.
I've seen Jake's name come up quite a bit. I bet all his e-friends are online watching him play, rooting for him.
He probably makes significant cheddar cheese playing those esports, and so this might be small potatoes for him.
I think this could be a call here for John. I don't know about him, but I'd probably call here if I'm him.
King Jack suited facing
Not
an
that
elimination.
it's the right call necessarily, but only a third of his stack. King Jack suited is just good-looking cards.
He's going to show it.
I like how he shows the card and shows him as a good fold. Kind of reinforces the fold mentality. It says if you're going to get in with me, you better have a premium or let it go.
JT in 1968. Maybe I should get a job in the cage at TCH. I think they're always hiring. Come through. You know, as the room grows, they're always adding new personnel. The team continues to grow. So if you're actually serious, come through and talk to some of the floor personnel. They could probably get you hooked up. We're 997 people watching. We're almost at 1,000. This is at least a record for me. I don't think okay, now we're over 1,000. 1,007 watching now. Let's get to the same number of likes. 211 right now.
Tuna's really opening it up, man. Like I said, one of the more creative cash players in the room. He's sat on his hands for the first level.
E-fans.
But no more. He's going to run right into Philip.
Philip, kind of on a little heater now.
Yeah, he waited for some big hands to come his way, and he's getting his wish.
This is when you start to feel like you're in that flow state where you're just getting all the premiums in
Looking
amazing
over.
positions.
That just shows excitement right there.
He's just going to ship it here.
Is he going to do all of it?
I think so. Ace King is just like, it's hard to go wrong. What was that motion?
Yeah, 1.2 bet. He's only got 7 in his stack, but really playing Tuna's stack, 5 million. Looks like he did.
John D with the computer hand, small blind. He's going to get out of there.
Should
well
clear the
Black.
field back to Tuna, and Tuna gets out of the way.
An easy 2.2 million. He's up to 10 now. There are the payouts again. Everybody's guaranteed one stack of high society with more to come if they last.
So Philip had about, what, 300, 400 a couple of hands ago. Making big jumps up.
E-fans. Ace King is a trap. I don't know. This game seems like a pretty sure thing. $951.
Wow. Tuna's aggression factor is off the charts this
He's
round.
turning it up a bit, making it 1.2 million with Queen 10 off in the hijack. He still, I mean, technically hasn't seen much. Only Philip, who's had premiums, has really played back.
I think he's doing this with an intent to call here. He likes these hands. I think he has board coverage and 2 live cards. And not a lot of fold equity here. This one gets through. We'll see if he keeps that up. Maybe he senses that anybody's going to play back at him pretty much only has a top 5 hand.
That's right.
So the rarity of that's going to be on his side as he increases his aggression.
Back to over 1,000. Watching now. The likes continue to increase. Again, my name's Ben. I'm here with Matt and John and Jamie from Poker Atlas. This is the Poker Atlas payday $250K guaranteed, but it very quickly turned into a almost $700K guarantee, crushing the guarantee from $250 to $477 in the main prize pool and an additional $170,000 in bag bonuses. So for those that are just tuning in, or all of the esports bubbas out there that maybe aren't watching much poker these days, this tournament was different in that those that survived their individual day ones on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, if they survived to day 2, they won $800, and if they played an additional day 1 and survived, they won another $2,000. And so I don't know how many people multi-bagged, but there was a few that won that, correct?
Yeah, I think 14 people multi-bagged.
That's pretty cool. So they made at least $2,800
Yep.
on top of if they cashed in the main prize pool.
Do you have any more of these planned or upcoming?
We do, not on the schedule yet, but our plan and hope is to run one of these events about every 4 to 6 weeks or so.
Oh, wow.
So we plan on sort of making this a bit of a, not a tour per se, but let's call it a traveling event.
Well, went over very well.
Different.
Like I said, I've met more people from different parts of Texas, Oklahoma, and the whole region more than any of our other events. So the word got out, and people really responded well.
Yeah, definitely did. We saw a lot of people from a lot of places in this tournament.
Protege J, what's the buy-in? $600, and you could rebuy or you could re-enter anytime you busted out up until the end of late registration.
Yeah, like I said, my advice to anybody traveling for one of these is bring a couple bullets and try to multi-bag. I think that the value of that is really one of the hidden values of these tournaments.
We get it. Jake is caboose. He's an esports pro. We get it. Thanks to everybody that's a new face in the TCH chat. Generally, we're working with the same 42 people that live in these chat boxes, so it's awesome to see fresh faces. I'm assuming some of y'all are also from Team Envy. If you're also on Team Envy or Empire or any of the other teams within the Envy umbrella, let us know. That'd be cool to see you guys. And I could show you how to play Warzone later on.
Tuna continues his pre-flop onslaught. I don't know if he's even looking at his cards, but
I'll challenge any of you esports guys to a game of free cell too.
Yeah.
I'll crush you
On a
promise.
Windows 95 machine.
Serious. Take all your money, esports kids.
No, this is fun. I mean, hopefully more of y'all come through the card room, especially if you're in Dallas and you play on Team Envy. That'd be awesome to have a cross-pollination there. Lasky, you're on Dallas Fuel. That's the Overwatch team, right? What up, what up?
someone in the chat said their friend Lucio bagged all of the flights.
Shout out to Lasky and Wardell, both Valorant players, pro Valorant players. Pretty cool to see you guys here.
That was false.
1v1 me on Minesweeper, Mogal. Gosh, I never understood that game.
What game?
Minesweeper.
No,
Oh, the old Windows game?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that game.
Click close to
If
the
there's
bomb.
a 4, it means there's, you know, 4 of the squares
Yeah,
around that square had bombs on them.
That game blew my
Oh,
mind.
I
back
crushed
in the
that
day.
game.
that in free cell?
Yeah.
I don't even know what free cell is. But I wasted a lot of time on Minesweeper, thinking I was a genius.
I think y'all are trolling me now. Jake is caboose.
I couldn't even keep up with the chats. I gave up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my best. This is why I get paid the big bucks.
Maybe if they all send $10 super chats,
If
it'll
y'all
be
Yeah.
easier to follow.
If you
That's
guys
right.
want to get noticed.
If you definitely want to send, you guys are used to giving bits and donations on Twitch. It's the same thing here on YouTube. Hit us with that super chat, and I'll be sure to catch your comments. Mike Youngblood, Dude Talking, one of the esteemed commentators in Austin. Chat Pro and Esports Pros coming together. Nature is healing. We're getting back to normal. That's right.
Philip C's vaulted up to 11 million. It's a good comeback on his part.
A lot of Valorant pros.
Everybody's just playing real, besides Tuna, just playing real ABC, waiting for hands. And Tuna's really the only one trying to exploit that. As Aaron proves me wrong, opens up with Queen Jack. Not quite a premium, but 2 Broadway's cards always look good in your hand.
Aaron K opening up to 1.2 million on the button. Tuna's definitely going to defend here in the big blind. If not 3-bet.
Yeah, at the least.
Here's a tip. Buy Bitcoin. Thanks.
Whoa.
Wow.
He just opened folds?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Interessante.
And I think the biggest news, no masks on Monday at TCH for players.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
That's new.
So we've all been waiting for that to happen.
Kurt
And,
with the $5 super chat. Sheesh. Appreciate you, Kurt. Thanks for the $5 super chat. Way to lead the charge. That's it's earlier than I was expecting the sheeshes to come out. That's what the kids say now on TikTok and such. Gosh, I love this chat box right now. This is really fueling me. Invest in waffles.
Waffle coin? Is that the new one? I
don't
can't keep
know.
up with the
I
new
can't.
coins anymore.
Mike Youngbutt, Shiba coin to the moon. Here we go.
Steven with the ace and the
Commentators.
button. Come on, Steven.
Commentators don't realize what has descended upon them. Yeah, I think there must have been a Discord or something where everybody was talking about coming into this chat and copy-pasting the same thing. Here's a good question for you, Matt, or even John. Commentators, can you explain some more of the tactics since a lot of the new people don't understand the game as well? So maybe some basic tournament strategy or some considerations compared to maybe regular cash game strategy.
Win flips is a pretty big part of the game.
Flips meaning a 50% chance of winning. Mike's HD $5 super chat. Do you guys know Howard? I need a little more context.
Interesting hand here. This is a good shove by Tuna. Senses a light shove on the button. Steven has the best hand, but lays it down. Probably correct fold with ace-3 right there. And definitely a good shove by Tuna. And you want to talk about tactics, playing the position, sensing when your opponent is probably playing his position and raising weak, as Steven was doing on the button. And Fish just takes advantage of that. That I know that you know tactic.
That's right. So generally, I mean, I don't know how Barney style we need to get, but for those, my dad even asked about this today. It's like, hey, could you explain like really the basics of what's going on here for people that are just learning? We're playing, like the difference between a tournament and a cash game is that tournaments you have a set buy-in and you play like any other type of tournament where there's one person remaining at the end with all the chips. And the blinds continue to increase every so often so that it forces action. And the number of chips don't change, but the blinds change to where it eventually gets so high that the tournament eventually has to end at some point. And so this is different because all these players are playing to survive and eventually win instead of a cash game where each chip is actually worth real cash value and you can rebuy it for as long as you want. So like the tables that are going on right now at TCH Dallas are mostly cash tables where you can buy in for whatever you want and play for as long as you want and cash out whenever you want. Tournaments are more structured. They have a set start date and a registration time that ends eventually, and then you play until all the players eliminate to the final one person, and that last remaining individual is going to win $100,000. Much like so, if we're trying to relate to the esports community for a Valorant tournament or whatever, if you're on a team, we're playing a tournament style where everybody's got to play until one remains. So. Continue with the questions. There's no dumb questions here, as surprising as that may be, but I love to talk poker and love to explain the game for those that are maybe checking it out for the first time.
It's sort of like Monopoly, too. The money that they're playing with is not real dollars. These are sort of everyone starts with a set amount of tournament chips that do not have any cash value. And once you run out of chips, you're out of the tournament. And because the antes, or blinds as we call them, are continuously escalating, the biggest difference between a tournament and a cash game is really you have to continue to accumulate chips just to sort of keep your stack in a good proportion to what the blinds are, the antes.
Tournaments are almost more of a game of chip acquisition with cards as a medium as opposed to cash games where you're playing the cards and the players.
Trevor Lewis, it was a $250K guarantee, but what did the prize pool balloon to? All in, it ballooned to around $700,000 in the prize pool. $700,000 real dollars. So all these players bought in for the same amount, $600 as an entry fee, and that gave them the chips and the ability to play down to the final table that they're at now.
Right, and every player started with 50,000 in tournament chips. So you'll see here that these players that have 11 million, that's all what they've accumulated with 50,000 to start.
That's right. Michael B. SCU. So that's why the cage won't give me cash for my tourney chips. That's right.
They're hard to take around town and spend, too.
Yeah.
Philip opens up with a pair. Probably the weakest hand he's played so far. Folded to him. He's hoping this gets through. He doesn't want any action.
Philip C. in the cutoff here. Kind of been a slow few hands here. And
Allen shoving loose with the 10-7.
He's only got 1.3 behind. He figured, you know what, he's actually a flip versus pocket sixes. A 9 would really help him here. So now he can get you a 9, 7, or a 10, and he does not.
He does not.
So Philip C. is going to survive another all-in here.
Sixes hold. Player busted.
Eliminating Alan C. in 8th place. He's going to win 10,000 real dollars.
We're up to 10,000 now?
For his 8th place finish, he turned $600 into $10,000, and the rest of us are going to go to our real jobs this week for much less. So shout out to Alan C. Even though he's disappointed at maybe not surviving as long, he's going to take home $10,000 in real cash money. So congrats to him. GG's. Did I say that right? Valorant pros in there? GG, that's what y'all say? Anyways, we're down to 7. There's $13,000 guaranteed to the next player. So the money keeps going way up. Gene, are you guys on site or remote? We're on site. There's literally 4 of us in this tiny little closet looking at a monitor, commentating the action. We're on a 15-minute delay, though.
Stephen B. with another tiny raise. Pair of 9, see if this gets through. Maybe we can get another elimination from a short stack. But no.
Michael Agbula, how long is this tournament going for? We started on Thursday at 11 a.m. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday had 2 start times each day, and those were all day ones. So there was day 1A, day 1B, day 1C, and etc. And each flight played down for a certain amount of time, and then all those players survived until day 2, which started today at 11 a.m. And so these are the last 7 players out of the 1,300 entries we had.
And each flight was very packed. We had to bring in extra tables. We filled them up. The response for this tournament was unreal. I'd like to thank Poker Atlas and John for bringing it to TCH.
Absolutely.
It was a lot of fun to hang on, and we look forward to the next one.
Absolutely. These are always create an additional buzz in the room, and it always attracts – these big tournaments attract players from all over the country and even the world sometimes that, even the cash games don't attract just because it's a different style of player sometimes that want to come play. Like you said earlier, the prospect of changing $600 into $100,000 is way more attractive to many people than maybe sitting down at a 2-5 game to turn $500 into $2,000 or something.
I really like the way Tuna is turning it up now with these mediocre raising hands, as they might be called, non-premiums, just sensing the fact everyone's just folding, waiting for aces. And he got caught once, but he's taken down 4 or 5 of these. And right now, pre-flop, dead money is almost $1 million. It is $1 million right now.
Yeah.
$1 million chip
Tournament
dollars.
chips,
Tournament chips. If
So
there's $1 million, he'd probably cash out.
Right. Yeah. All the numbers.
Steal the bloods one time.
That's right.
Get out of here.
All the money amounts you see, or all the numbers you see on the screen, are in terms of the tournament chips, which don't have any cash value. There's a more advanced concept that does assign cash value to the tournament chips, but I'm not going to pretend to start explaining that. If you're interested, you can look up independent chip modeling, and that's that concept.
Philip C. He's got enough chips where he could start pushing with 9/8, these types of hands, and trying to cripple the short stacks and add to his stack and prepare for these later rounds.
Niche esports
everyone's
humor.
really just folding.
Wagola, if poker was played at 240 frames per second, Caboose would have won already. All right. Esports
I think
humor.
Caboose is showing up with some fans tonight. That's
Yeah.
what that's the read I'm getting here.
Mogal, another good question. What does VPIT mean? It stands for voluntarily put in pot, and it's a stat for measuring the frequency that each player voluntarily puts money in the pot, whether it be calling or raising. And so that's kind of a nerdy stat that it basically shows how often you're putting money in the pot, how active you are, whether it be calling
like
or
an
raising.
aggression meter, basically.
Yeah, it's a statistic that tells how loose or tight you play, whether you're conservative waiting for really good cards or aggressive playing a lot more hands.
All In Poker Podcast. That's exactly what we need, a 5-minute explanation of ICM math. No thanks. I am not the guy for that by any means. All In Poker Podcast. I haven't listened to that podcast.
Rio
I'm gonna
Black,
check it
maybe
out.
the first hand he's played, maybe the second hand, and he gets 8 and a shove through, which I'm sure he's happy about.
So right now you can see there's a blind. There's a $200,000 small blind. There's a $400,000 big blind and a $400,000 big blind ante. So there's 1 million in chips in the pot right now. So if a player comes in and raises up to $1 million, which is probably the standard size, about 2.5 times the big blind we're seeing. So you put up $1 million, you raise $1 million. If no one calls, you win $1 million. So you're literally doubling the amount you're risking, which is why you're seeing a lot of these players, or not a lot, but some of the more aggressive players raise with less premium hands.
And as you see, most of the chip stacks, 5, 6, 7, 8 million. So a 1 million addition to your stack is huge.
Yep.
At this point, and the players that are doing it are having a huge advantage over the ones that are just sitting on their hands.
And conversely, for those that are not winning chips, it's costing them 1 million in chips every round. Every 7 hands at this point is costing the players 1 million in chips from paying their blinds. So hence the need to continue to accumulate chips to stay in the tournament.
Yeah, and people are asking about blinds and antes. Blinds are forced bets that each player has to put in once, or technically twice per rotation. As you see that white puck that travels around the table, that indicates the dealer button, and that dictates where the dealer starts dealing cards. That also dictates who has to force money or has to put money in the pot before they see their cards. That's why they're called blinds, is because they have to put money out there before they even see their cards. That kind of encourages action throughout the tournament. And then an ante is an additional bet that the big blind has to pay to add even more money into the pot. In the past, antes have been collected from each player for each hand, but now to speed up the game, the big blind is tasked with paying everybody's antes, and it's just to speed up the game, really. Good question, though. So a bunch of rags so far. Aaron K, Queen 4, not going to do it in the hijack. Stephen B with nothing in the cutoff.
Around to tuna, who really doesn't need much. See? 8-4, good enough. Puts in a raise. He wants to steal that million, as we were just talking about, and add it to his chip stack.
Philip C might play back here a bit in the small blind, but I know nothing.
He only plays aces.
That's right. And it's worked out for him so far.
And when it's folded around to him on the button with John, who we know is playing really pretty tight in the big blind, he really only has to worry about the other gentleman whose name I'm
Philip.
Yep, Philip.
Well,
Sorry.
Philip's only showed aces and eights so far, so he's also showed premium. And everyone's playing really tight, just waiting for premium hands, and I think Tuna really senses it.
I mean, Tuna could literally not even look at his cards when it's folded to him on the button and make a raise, and it's a profitable play for him right now.
Everyone could, not just him.
Right.
People aren't. Yeah, the shorter it gets, it's so much more of a position and player game than it is just your cards.
So the blinds right now are 200K, 400K, and the big blind owes an additional 400K before even any cards are dealt. So like you can see there in the bottom right, there's $1 million in the pot that these players are trying to win at a minimum.
As we saw earlier, Tuna took that big hit earlier, and just by playing aggressive pre-flops, built his chip stack up above where it was before that hand.
Ultra W, why are they playing so passive? I'm assuming it's because they want to ladder up from 13K. The next player out is going to win 13,000, and in sixth place is guaranteed 17,000. So the money's starting to get pretty saucy here.
John D, it's like he's listening to us. Comes in with 10-6.
So that's a switch up for him.
I'll show you how tight I am, commentators.
Apparently, somebody posted the link to the stream on esports Twitter, and so that's why everybody is wiling out right now.
So it's not me?
No, it is John. You do have a big fan base in the esports community. I'm learning.
I have this huge following that I encourage not to pipe in on chat, so they're there watching, but but I also ask them to be very quiet and please, just lurk. Don't say anything because we don't want them to know who we are.
That makes sense because there's 1,100 watching right now.
Yep.
And so, that Mahjong community in Houston lurking.
George Ludwig says, I think Tuna's picked up about $6 million with opens and only lost one of those raises.
Wow.
I think that's about right.
See, that's the way to do it. He's taking advantage of everybody's clearly playing a little more passively.
Which is a big part of poker, watching people's frequencies on folding, raising, calling, those basic moves.
Bill Peters says, is the point of the game to throw the rectangle papers to the person with the headset the fastest?
Seems to be. Seems to be.
Getting good. Commentators, are you guys mad that all these new fans are here, or is it good for poker to have more eyes on this? Dude, it is amazing to have this many people in here talking about this. This is only good for the game. Especially if you can get other competitive people from another gaming community to come play this game. It's just good for everybody. So we're pumped to have all this sweet engagement here right now.
Steven with ace-9. He's really been sitting on his hands for the past level at least.
He's going to open to $1 million under the gun. Tuna with... I think if it had folded to him, he's definitely opening there, but he open folds the king-queen.
I think Tuna's just staying out of Steve's way. I think he senses he's a pretty good player.
And if he's going to win the chips uncontested, why would he even...
Exactly.
Yeah, without a premium. So let's see if Caboose has got anything behind. He's got 3.5 million in the small blind. He's got 3-5 suited versus Stephen B., who hasn't shown himself. It looks like he's shoving here. So this is a re-steal.
Wow.
For those that don't play tournament poker, this may look crazy to some, but he's actually picking a pretty good spot here where he's using his entire chip stack to put pressure on Stephen B., who, as you can see, doesn't have that great of a hand to call for half of his chip stack. So this is actually a really good spot by Jake, a.k.a. Caboose.
He knows a small amount of Steven's opening range is going to call here. He knows Steve's been playing tight, and even if Steve does call, he has what they call board coverage, 2 live cards, suited cards, ways he can come from behind and win this pot, even if he does get a call, which I think he's going to get the walk here.
I think he might get called. Ace-9 and suited is pretty strong, but
spades are pretty.
5-3 suited doesn't play too poorly against hands like ace-king, ace-queen. I think we're going to see a flop here. I think we're going to...
He's getting calling chips out.
It looks... He's really thinking about it
here. If he talks himself into thinking he's up against ace-king, he's going to fold his ace-9, but if he knows that his opponent has a wider range of shove hands here, which
Jake's been playing really tight, too. He hasn't got in loose, and actually they both have, so it's hard. But he does make the call with ace-9 suited.
Nice, good call here, Jake. He's got 2 live cards, So in the chat, give him some, I don't know, GLs or whatever you guys say. And a 5 in the door,
window
2
and the
spades.
3.
Oh,
He needs to hit the full house. He doesn't.
oh, wow. What a flop. So that happened really quick, but Jake flopped 2 pair, but Stephen B flopped the nut flush draw, and he turns a 5th spade to get the nut flush to eliminate Jake, a.k.a. Caboose, in 7th place. Jake is going to win $13,000 US dollars. Oh, yeah. So Jake, he brought the action in the chat and also on the table. I actually really like the ship there. I don't know if it's correct or not, but I really like the play there. And unfortunately, he had to go through the emotional roller coaster of flopping 2 pair and then immediately getting sucked out on the turn.
I gotta say, I don't love the shove there, and it's easy to say after the fact. But I think if he had more chips, he has what's called more fold equity. Just more influence to get your opponent to fold there. But he just didn't have a big enough size re-raise because he didn't have enough chips to sort of force his opponent off. But you saw that he wanted to fold the ace-9, but he just couldn't find the fold button without having to call off any more chips.
Yeah, and he's enthused now to have new life, new chips in his stack. And, it's unfortunate for Caboose there, but he gets a consolation prize of $13,000. So, yeah, maybe the ICM considerations, maybe you just fold there and try to find a better spot. Hard not to be results-oriented. People are saying the dealer is dealing too fast. Now, that's a compliment for a poker dealer. Dealer, slow down. That's so funny. All right, so Aaron K. on a 5-7-5 flop, checking to Tuna, who's just going to shove here with Jack high. Backdoor hearts, backdoor straight draw. Aaron K., though, has got to be thinking, like, what is shoving here? It's so polarizing, right? It's like, what is shoving here except a steal?
Yeah, you see deuces, even though they're ahead right here, still only 58%. So Tuna with this shove. Notice he's got some live cards, still ways to win the hand. And right now, after this dramatic pause, he really thinks his shove was genius. We talked about how earlier the shove was not enough to get Steven to make the fold. We'll see. This $9.5 million is certainly enough to make you think about it.
Yeah, this is a tough call here with deuces because there's so many hands. I mean, even if you do have the best hand, there's so many hands you could be up against that just have you crushed statistically. And you sort of flush draw with, 2 cards bigger than a deuce, which is every hand.
That was that was as good as he's going to get right there, and he's only 58%.
I mean,
or you call and you see him turn over pocket 4s and then you puke. It's
right.
Like, well, I thought I made a good call.
Look at Tuna's stack. He lost a big hand earlier and just.
A lot of people in the chat emotionally dealing with the bust out of Jake Caboose. I feel your pain. Seeing your buddy get busted. Everybody wanted a little more dramatic pauses from the dealer. This generally isn't that kind of stream. It's like we're kind of producing on the fly instead of producing in post. And so generally we don't try to waste too much time with dramatic pauses. The game's dramatic enough, I think.
John, King 9, a playable hand, but right behind the razor. All these hands look beautiful.
Also, if you're here and you haven't subscribed to TCH Live, would love it if you smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and again, hit that thumbs up for us. Super fun to see all the new engagement. Appreciate you guys.
Steven just got all those chips. He's going to loosen up a little bit. Start playing from the small blind. We're going to see a flop 2 ways. Both these guys with monster chip stacks.
That was a very good flop for ace-8.
Absolutely.
Top pair, backdoor flush draw.
I think he's got to bet pretty big to protect this. He doesn't want a floating call here.
He announced some kind of raise. Looks like $1.1 million. Stephen B with 2
I
overs.
assume he just
Pretty much
folds here.
The old no pay or no draw situation.
Oh, shit. He's making a move.
He might float here.
He's raising.
He is.
Oh,
Nah,
he got scared.
fakes him out.
Yeah. Did the right thing, though.
Yeah, not the flop you want to see with 2 Broadway hearts there.
Jay, are y'all about to invite Caboose to every tourney? I mean, yeah, it seems like we got some pretty good free engagement there.
Well, he plays for all the time. He'll be back on the stream, I'm sure.
Absolutely. It seemed like he had game. Yeah, definitely trying our best to explain what happened with the flop turn river. They are dealing fast. We're committed to explaining everything as fast as we can. Got a lot of hands ahead of us. So Leo Black here squeezing the king 8 and the hijack. 7-6, no good either. Stephen B on the button. He's last to act. Ace 4 offsuit. And we're playing 250-500 now, so looks like he's making it 1,100,000.
Now, Tuda's got out of his way almost every raise, but it's got to be nerve-wracking having a guy like that to your left.
Yeah, so Stephen B made it 1.1. Tuna's coming along with the king-queen offsuit in the small blind.
Just got to really ramp down his aggression there because, Stephen raising with good hands.
Ooh, here we go. Jack 10-7. Tuna flops 2 overs and an open-ended straight draw. Stephen B has ace high. He turns nut hearts. Basically, if he gets another heart on the river, he's got the nut flush.
Yeah, really bad turn for Tuna there.
So now his straight outs are dirty, as they say, because if he catches the ace is already out there, but the 9 of hearts would give him a straight, but that would also give Stephen B a flush. So Stephen B is going to do the delayed c-bet here, betting 1.3 million. And Tuna's got a decision here. He's got 2 overcards and an open-ended straight draw. Any ace and any 9 give him a straight to the king, or a straight to the ace. And also, he could think that his kings and queens are live if they get paired up on the river. It's not a big bet, 1.3 million, but he's just going to get out of the way.
Pretty basic fold right there without the heart in your hand.
Yeah, and Tuna's, probably trying to pick a better spot where he's in position or less contested money.
I think Tuna recognizes he's in better shape when he's the one taking the initiative.
Absolutely.
And he's the one in control of the pot, not the one
Yeah,
calling.
Yeah, I mean, he's been making his bread and butter, making those small pots, generating them, and not getting into big pots and with speculative hands. And honestly, he's got the tightest players at the table right on his left, so why not keep that philosophy?
That's right. Yeah, that's a really good position to be at any poker table, is when you have the loose players on your right and the tight players on your left. So that means you can
have position on him.
Yeah.
Steve, huh?
Tuna with a real hand here. Pocket 10s on the button.
Haven't seen him with a real hand yet.
He's going to bet 1.5 million.
Well, the blinds went up to 500 while we were talking.
Still 1,000 of you watching, almost 1,100. Pretty cool to see this many people watching the conclusion of this Poker Atlas Payday $250,000 guaranteed no limit hold'em tournament. 1,300 entries. We're down to the final 7. I'm sorry, final 6.
Yeah, we just called it. Tuna should keep stealing those little pots, and he just does it again on the button.
Yeah, if they don't start playing back at him soon, he's going to get to a point where he has a dominating chip lead without much contest, and that's not a position you want a guy like Tuna to be in. All right, trash hand for Stephen B.
If this folds to him, he's probably just going to do it again.
How
He's
about
definitely
ace-queen?
going to do it again.
Ace-queen off in the cutoff. Any sane person would open this for a raise. Looks like he does.
And when someone does this much, it's just inviting action too.
Looks like
Eventually,
1.7.
he's going to make these players mad.
Ooh, this is
Oh well, we're gonna have a big hand that's likely going to be a chop here. Unfortunately,
two big stacks versus each other. Both don't really want to get involved with each other because they could cripple one another instead of punishing the small stacks. Philip C. in position against Tuna with the same hand, ace queen off. Knowing that Tuna is a looser player, Philip C. obviously is going to 3-bet. Maybe not obviously, but most likely is going to 3-bet. This is too good of a hand not to. It looks like he's pulling out calling chips, though, so what do I know? He's going to come along on the button.
Uh-oh.
All right, here we go. John D., the biggest stack at the table, I think. Pocket kings in the small blind. This could... I doubt this will be a three-way all-in, but it could be a three-way all-in. I think Tuna is going to see through two of the tighter players. Well, I don't know if you consider.
Well, Tuna's in a real tough spot here, actually, because after Philip raises, Tuna doesn't know if Philip was maybe slow playing a big hand, so he's kind of
it's not a comfortable
in an
position to
awkward
be in.
spot.
Yeah,
It's hard for him to just flat here because if Philip then sticks his stack in, it puts him in a bad spot. So it's kind of an easy fold here for ace queen and his. But now,
really good point.
Philip, there's a lot of dead money in the pot, so he almost can call here with his hand, but he chooses not to. So
John D is going to have 4.4.
Although John did chip it here, I guess I didn't
He did
pay
chip it,
attention
yeah.
to that. He maybe probably could have done himself a favor by raising less, but
There's quite a bit in the middle, though.
a lot of money in the pot. Yeah.
It's still an uncontested $5 million win.
Let's see. Where's my chat? What's happening? B Justice asks, so is it safe to say that after the 15-minute delay, the players can get info on what's being folded? Yeah, they might even have the stream on the TV behind them. For the cash games, they definitely do that, where they put the stream on the TV behind them so all the players, because the assumption is that if they didn't have that, they're just going to get info from somebody else. But it's fine because it's a 15-minute delay. It's we want to have as live of action as possible while also having the highest integrity game as possible.
Well, I asked what was the buy-in. This is a $600 buy-in tournament with 6 day one flights leading up to this day two and final table.
And unlimited re-entries. If you busted out, you could re-enter as many times as you wanted up until registration closed. So blinds, 250K, 500K with a 500K big blind ante.
Not much.
I imagine the color up is going to bring out the plaques here shortly, the million chip plaques. Yeah, I mean,
Philip with queen eight. Really, you can raise from any position right now with six-handed.
yeah, 6 max poker is a very different style of play than 9 and 10-handed.
Yeah, John just folded king 10. I would have absolutely raised that hand.
Aaron
Late
K.
position.
I might have raised the queen.
Yeah.
Aaron K's kind of had an up and down night. He's still in it. Opening in the small blind at 2 million. Stephen B. with
And the worst hand in poker.
Aces?
7 deuce.
jacks. Josh Plummer, if John has less chips there, does one person call? I think so. With the pocket kings shove versus ace king, yeah, if he's got half the chips that he shoves with, I'm sure somebody's calling. But I think he was the chip leader at the time. And calling for your tournament with ace queen against 2 other players is kind of optimistic.
John played so few hands. He's so hard to call. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
pretty confident. Like he showed the
really
we saw the
condensed his
10-6 hand.
range on that shove. If he had been playing a little more actively, he may have got a caller there.
Yeah. Philip C. King Jack under the gun. 10 million in chips. Good enough for an open. Looks like 1.2. William Lottie, I fired both Saturday flights, coolered both times.
Leo
Sucks, man. Sorry.
pointing up to the sky, pushing all his chips in, all in with ace, jack. I don't see how Philip can fold when it comes back to him.
Wish there would have been more than 2 hours of late reg per flight. Helpful feedback. Thanks, William.
Yeah, Philip's calling for sure here, assuming nobody else.
Yeah, it has folded.
And he's
going to
hate his king jack up against ace jack.
But if he does get lucky, he could eliminate another player here, and they all bump up another $5,000. Sixth place right now is guaranteed $17,000.
Philip 1.9 to call a 5.5 pot.
Yeah, surely.
He's even getting the right odds to be this far behind.
There's no way he's folding here.
I think he's gonna get to it in his head. He's just doing a little math, doing a little considerations. You know, Leo Black hasn't exactly shown down many hands, but also his stack is so small.
Oh my God!
He's gonna
That's
get
why
walk.
I'm in the booth and not on the table.
Ouch! So he gets a walk.
Well.
Leo Black loves to see that. The players don't like to see that. They wanted to see.
Definitely on the bottom of the calling range, but I think that's a call in most books. But hey, he made the right.
I mean, it's
he
a
made,
perfect
he made the right
fold.
move. Yeah.
When you can see your opponent's cards, but
Right.
when you can't, I don't know how he folds there. But maybe he knew something that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Had some sort of
They're down
indicator.
there. They have different reads than we do, different levels of observation.
And there's all these human factors at play too. I mean, at this point, they've now been playing 12 hours today, and they've also played at some point earlier in the week. They're playing for serious money now. All those things are probably influencing their thought process a bit.
Leo, you just won a hand, buddy. Ride the heat. Ride the heat.
Pez says that's an ICM fold. Yeah, I mean, clearly he didn't want to risk it for the biscuit with King Jack off. Some people are saying call with any two. But Justin Rayfield says, yep, easy fold for ICM. I mean, he does have a big enough stack. Yeah, why open pre if you're going to fold? Maybe because the frequency that it gets through is higher than the frequency that you're going to face a 3-bet.
I just think half the time he's up against a hand like 10s or 9s or
Yeah.
8s or ace-queen. I mean, he's got live cards.
That's as bad of a situation
most
as he's going to be.
of
And
the
he's
scenarios.
He's still almost 30%. And like I said, once the pot odds are in there, the money's in there. I think he had the right odds to call. But he folded, and here we are.
That's right. It's a game of imperfect information and immense regret on the back end, especially once you can see a stream where you see the spots that maybe you missed out on. Everybody's trying their best to put the imperfect information together and make the best possible decision that they can. William Lotta, yeah, you're right. You see some snug folds at final tables. The Sunday streams out of Austin usually have a few that you'd find odd. Yeah, I mean, at the final table, it's an accomplishment in of itself, and especially when you know that 1,000 people are dissecting your play, the desire to not make a mistake is high.
They just don't want to get burned by the commentators.
Right? Yeah, y'all are the reason that they're making these
Our
snug folds.
opinion means so much.
Because y'all are
to
going to
them.
get roasted by the chat pros if you make a mistake. Stephen B. taking this one down. Queen Jack off, uncontested in the cutoff. Tuna has not gone to showdown, apparently. Aaron
Yeah.
K has gone to showdown 80% of the time.
They're worried that Nick from Yuma is going to disapprove of their move.
That's right. Yeah. So how long have we been at this? We've been at this since 9 p.m. We're 2 hours in. We're down to 6. We've eliminated 3 players.
Has it been 2 hours? Man, it's flown by.
Yeah. Time flies when you're speculating about poker.
That's been a very entertaining final table. We usually do our weekly, which is a pretty short final table, and pretty short stacked overall. So it's been a really nice change having these deep stacks with lots of play.
It's always fun to see a deep stack play.
And opens with the baby pair. Steven won a big pot with ace-9 suited.
That's right. He might have a
Chatting it up a little bit.
emotional connection to it now.
Tuna, yeah, he's just getting in the way out of any raise that comes in before him.
And I don't know what his network's like here, but he might have people coaching him up to do that specific thing. Like, we don't know.
Tuna?
Yeah, we don't know
Yeah.
if they've got guys on the rail that are saying, hey, it looks like everybody's. That's what I would do if I was in this position playing for 100K. I would want smarter people on my rail helping me coach me up on the speed I need to be going. So you can see the guys kind of showing signs of fatigue, leaning back, touching their face, kind of, and it's hard to see if they're yawning or not, but it looks like some of these guys might be wearing out a little bit. That definitely plays a role at this stage of the tournament where the money is highest, but you'll see some guys kind of lose their mind a bit and just like start overplaying weird hands and then get busted out because they deep down just want to go home. And so the key is to fight against that feeling, because you know that the longer you last, the more money you make, even if it doesn't feel good or you start to get exhausted.
And Tuna with the king.
So a suited king for Tuna in the hijack. He's got good position, playing his position well. Leo Black pocket threes might reshove here. He did it with the ace-jack off. This is about equivalent.
Yeah, against, like I said, I talked about frequency. Tuna's just been coming in with all these hands all the time. A pair is pretty good right here, especially against a player this active. With his chip stack, he really doesn't have a whole lot of options. And he has enough chips to get Tuna to fold and not call with any two cards. You don't want to...
The worst thing to do would be to call here, I think.
Yes. Yeah, there's no good flop for threes. You're going to miss almost every board.
Leo Black, considering his options, he does technically have all the options in front of him. He can...
Oh, folds.
And he folds it. I mean...
I think he missed a golden opportunity there.
But it is tough seeing those tiny two little cards. Like, yeah, it's a pair. But I get why you would be hesitant to put it in there.
We do get a caller from Aaron, who
Aaron's got a little more
dominates
chips.
Tuna's king.
Jack, 7, Jack. So misses for both players. Aaron K's ahead with that better king, and he's got backdoor hearts.
All in. Wow.
Chip in here.
Chips it.
Jam.
He's going to jam it for both players' tournament life.
The C-bet jam.
Aaron K, there's no way he can call here, but also Tuna, if he gets called, Tuna basically does not have a way to win unless he gets running spades or running eights.
Interesting play there.
Well, Tuna's an interesting player like that. He just plays the statistics. You probably don't have a jack. You didn't re-raise. You don't have a higher pair. And if you have threes or fours, are you going to call? Probably not.
Francisco Lopez, I'm not sure what you're talking about, bro. There was at least 11,000 entries just yesterday. First place only 100K. I think that's fake news, bro. I think that's the definition of fake news. There were 1,300 total
I've seen a couple of those on the stream. We've got some trolls tonight.
All right.
You know,
that's fine.
We like having you guys here, too. You keep us on our toes.
That means we're getting out to all the corners of the poker world if we're bringing out the abstract trolls.
You got to do something when you're sitting in your mom's basement on your computer. You might as well throw in some false statements on the chat.
Hey, I have no problem with rumors going around that the event got 30,000 entries.
Yeah, that's true.
On the final
Poker Atlas
day.
just brought out
Winner.
It was the biggest tournament in history. It was like PokerStars Sunday Million. Yeah, 174,000 went to the bag bonuses. It's just like
wow.
if you play a bounty tournament, it's like the prize pool gets split up in different ways to incentivize different.
And Tuna just getting hand after hand after hand through. Nobody's even 3-bet him once pre-flop. And now that's almost not even an option for these guys. So they've really put themselves in a hole just playing so passive.
So do we change dealers here or we're just changing decks?
Changing dealers.
Changing dealers.
That is not Amber.
Not Amber. We're still at 250K, 500K.
If it is her, it's definitely not her best angle.
Yeah. All right, back to Chris. Hopefully his wife is still watching. She can see her husband in action.
Yeah, the ace-jack fold might be a little snug. Got a lot of rake discussions in the chat. We're definitely not a charity by any means. Definitely costs money to give a service. The whole definition of capitalism.
Huh?
They're talking about the rake or the amount.
Hey, commentators, y'all see Matt Vaughn win 130K online and not be able to get his winnings? I haven't heard anything
I
about
did
that.
see that, actually. I randomly saw Matt Vaughn's a vlogger in Vegas, and he won 130,000 on like ACR or GG or something, and his bank in the United States like wouldn't process it, and in turn ACR, one of the sites, basically said that they couldn't pay him out. And so he had chopped with the guy that he was heads up with, and they had made a deal like, hey, we're going to chop offline and play for the remaining whatever, $5,000. But this guy, Matt Vaughn, basically was told that he wasn't going to get any of it, and all that money went to, I think, this may be fake news, all that money went to the second place guy, but apparently the second place guy was actually like an honest dude and paid him out the amount that they had agreed to chop, even though he got paid all of that money, and Matt Vaughn was supposed to not get any of it. Pretty sick. Oh, Bovada. Yeah, so it was Ignition. That's right. So it was random, or it was anonymous. Yeah, that was crazy. It's random, but that was crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure of Ignition's legality to operate and pay out inside of the U.S.
My bad, Bill Peters. Give me the accurate story then, man. I watched it offhandedly. I know that he was like got heads up, and they were chopping, and he, for some reason, couldn't get paid.
Apparently, yeah, Matt's a vlogger, so if you want to find out the whole story,
Yeah.
should not be too hard to find. And you could even put a link to it in our chat. That would be kind of cool, so everybody can read about it.
On to the next hand, hand number 63. We're 2 hours in, almost exactly. There's 6 players remaining. Oh, yeah, he played it on stream. He was playing on someone else's account, and he was playing it on stream. Yeah, that was.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
That's apparently.
He was ghosting and playing on somebody else's account.
Oh, man, that's brutal in so many different ways.
Steven, who hasn't played a lot of hands, wakes up with the premium.
I'm tracking now. He was multi-accounting. All right.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
Ace, king of spades.
Gets the walk.
All right. I think once the blinds go up one more time, we're going to start seeing some more action. The level is kind of evened out chip stack wise. Nobody's had any real cooler situations yet.
Yeah, I think those last couple levels are really lost opportunity by a lot of the players. Like I said, 3-betting pre-flop, getting in there. We saw a couple moves by Allen and Tuna, and those are going to be disappearing for a lot of these players as we move up.
I think they're on break pretty soon, right? Is there?
There should be.
I think.
Yeah, I think.
In about 7 minutes?
Probably. Yeah, this is a few minutes ahead.
In about 10 minutes.
They'll be on break. Oh, so other people have gotten this story wrong. He was trying to play from a state that didn't allow. Interesting. Whatever. Leo Black, under the gun, ace-7 off. He's got basically a push-fold stack, and this is a really uncomfortable hand when you've been waiting for, big hands. I mean,
yeah, we just talked about options being limited, and Leo's, well, he never had a whole lot of chips, but like you said, he's a prime example of that right now. He has 2 choices, fold or go all in, or even the worst option, call somebody else's raise.
Philip C.
I mean, this is a perfect raising hand and a chance to steal. I mean, there's a million in there you can steal by raising from the small blind.
Oh, big blind had aces.
Well,
John,
what do
John
I
had
know?
aces.
What do I know?
So
Must have felt his leg twitching under the table or something.
John D still crushing this final
Sees the
table.
mask go in and out about 4 inches. He's made a couple big folds like that. He folded to John's 10s earlier. Did you get to play any poker while you were John, or are you just working all the time?
No, just working this trip.
Yeah.
Every day I said, okay, tomorrow I'm going to jump in a cash game.
Oh, you should.
And I
nothing,
never did.
There's nothing like it.
Yeah, I see that.
I just went back to Vegas and played. Was there for a week, and I only played poker one time. I just thought it was the most boring. Of course, then they had the plexiglass up, and it was just so antisocial to play poker there. But people were shuffling chips, and I said it sounded like crickets in a field at night, because that's all you could hear.
So Stephen B. raising with the 9-10 of diamonds. Love those hands. John contemplating a call here with the king-queen.
Yeah, Steven's loosened up a little bit since winning that big hand earlier.
And he calls.
Leo's only option here, I think, is to shove, but this isn't.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think Leo has it in him to make any play here. I think he's going to Hollywood for a minute and then fold his hand.
That's such a great squeeze place.
Here comes a 2-finger fold.
2 fingers, is that the prediction?
2-finger fold. Ready? He wants to do it, but he just can't get himself to.
Well, he did the full throw, though. You were wrong about that.
I was off on the 2 fingers.
More emphatic than you saw coming. As John checks it, check through the flop. Now John has to feel great about his king. 10's a little scary out there, but
Yeah, I think any, other players, maybe Steven can call this bet, but I think against John, he has to know he's crushed. But he goes for it anyway. He does have a draw and a pair.
pretty much just going for the king or trips here on the river.
Now his
Queen or trips, that's what I meant.
His pair of 10s now became a playing the board scenario.
And John nuts up.
Be pretty good check for John here to see if Steven fires some bluff bullet.
Yeah, I was thinking of his options, and you beat me to the check part, but I would have liked that move.
He's never getting called here, but he could induce a bluff.
I think it's about the only way he could get value out of this hand. I think Steven's just in Hollywood land right here. Maybe he thinks a bet right here could work. Maybe he can still get a bluff over this amount. But I don't think so. Steven's played solid to get here. Makes the correct fold. But I agree with you. I think a check to try to induce the bluff. Obviously, you're not getting any value from anything. He didn't have a jack.
I want to give a quick shout out to Vegas Poker Rob on the Poker Atlas team, Rob Solomon, watching the stream from, I assume, where he lives in Los Angeles. Rob's been with Poker Atlas, been on my team since day one, really, since 2011. He's been one of our key content team members of keeping all of the information, or at least in his region, accurate on Poker Atlas. So poker enthusiasts around the world can see what's happening where and when.
Do you use local contributors to get your information from, or do you talk to the casinos themselves?
A combination of both. We have a team of sort of a content team that each has a region around the different parts of the U.S. and international. And they've just over the years built relationships with the various casinos and poker rooms that typically just send them information, but sometimes it takes us, calling on them a little bit. But Rob's done a fantastic job with us, along with others.
Has your table captain software gone international yet?
It has. We have customers, Canada, Caribbean, Central America. We got a handful in Europe, Asia. We actually have a new customer in India that we were supposed to install right before COVID and then right after COVID, but now I guess there's some nasty COVID outbreak in India, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think they're in really bad shape there, I think, still.
Yeah. So hopefully by, I don't know, August, September, things will calm down. We'll head over there and set them up.
Do you find that you do a lot of in-person visits whenever you're bringing on a new client, or is the team big enough where you can?
I'm pretty hands-on. I'm pretty involved in the install process and onboarding new customers. So I like it. I like to get out and travel and assist with the installation and training and sort of get to know our customers, just to understand what their needs are and help improve the software and our website and mobile app as much as we can to sort of meet everyone's needs and keep my finger on the pulse of things happening.
That's awesome.
Leo with 3s on the button. I mean,
$3 million. That's got to be folded to you.
You got to think aces might not be coming your way. And
I think he's going to stick it in here. I think he's finally going to find the play, and he's going to wish he had done it sooner when he gets called by ace-jack.
Yeah, Aaron K is probably quickly going to call a button shove. I mean, Leo Black could be doing this with 10-9 suited. And Aaron K is going to reship here.
Yeah, he reships. Steven snap folds. Will snap fold. And we are going to a showdown.
So this is for Leo Black's tournament life. Pocket threes versus ace jack. It's basically a coin flip for 17,000, or the difference is $5,000. 17 versus 22. So this is about a $5,000 pot for both of these players. Well, it's a $5,000 pot for Aaron K.
Aaron can lose this pot and still be in relatively good shape.
That's right.
Leo, of course, if he does not win, he will be collecting 6th place payout, which is a pretty good consolation prize.
4-4-6 is pretty good for pocket threes, unless a 6, ace, or a jack comes. 4 on the turn, so now basically the same outs for Aaron K here. He's an ace, jack, or a 6.
No 4, no 6.
He fades.
And pocket threes are going to double up here. Leo Black adding 4 million chips to his stack. And that's disappointing for the rest of the players. They thought they were going to get one more ladder.
Yeah, he's been hesitant to put those chips in too.
But Leo Black living to fight another day.
And his 5 table mates are very disappointed.
Yeah, that's right.
To see the ace-jack lose that hand.
Right, because they were one hand away from adding an additional $5,000 to their pockets. Leo Black's ecstatic, though.
I don't know. I think Toon is probably the only happy person because he knows he can just keep stealing from all those guys.
Yeah, that's a really good point. None of these guys have even tried to open it up and start stealing that much. Philip C's kind of dwindled a bit, 6.4 million under the gun.
Yeah, six-handed, really, I mean.
He's got 20 big blinds.
Any 2 Broadway cards are worth an open.
John calling here. What does he have? Exactly what you'd think. Middle pair.
23 million. Yeah,
Better.
I actually like the call. If you would have raised, would have went right to shove. Philip would have re-raised and.
Ooh,
all in
eights are
showdown.
shoving here for $5
This
million.
could get interesting here. John D's got 23 million behind. He could, he could try to gamble here a bit and try to eliminate multiple players. I mean, Stephen B gets it in here. He might fold.
That's a big chunk.
I think John's going to call here. I mean, assuming everyone else folds to him, I think John calls with the 2 9s here, reluctantly, but I think he calls.
It's a big chunk of his stack. It's a lot of chips.
And he's crushing Jack 9
But he's got a premium hand.
if it gets just to him.
I mean, he's already got $1 million in. It's like 4 more. He's got 1.2 in there, and he has to put in, what, 4.1 more?
Oh, I thought he had like 9 million going into the hand.
Some players in the chat like the pace of the dealer better. I'd never considered the pace of the dealer in terms of people watching, but I guess that makes sense.
Well, that follow the action a little
Yeah.
bit.
Philip folds here. John calls, and Aaron doesn't like the call. Actually, I thought pocket 8s shoved. Did I see that wrong?
Yeah,
Or
sometimes that's what I thought it said too.
is it possible the cards are not right here?
Sometimes the RFID reader reads wrong and the
Okay.
graphics mislead us.
Got it.
So
Because 8s make a little more sense here than Jack 9.
yeah, and I thought he had more chips than that too. I thought he had about 9 million going in, but
Especially,
right now the graphics say Jack 9 and has an all-in 5.3 million.
yeah, I would get a shove with Jack 9 suited if it was folded to the button, but with an under the gun open, I can't imagine Jack 9 suited doing that.
Either way, John's going to call here. We're going to find
Yeah.
out. I think it's 2 8s. That's my guess.
Yeah, John's not even hesitating or thinking about it.
Do it.
He's doing a little
Don't
bit
you
of mental
fold that
math.
hand.
There's no way.
Yeah, with 23 million, he cannot fold this.
And
I don't think any amount he can fold this. But this is just a little sneeze off of his stack, especially with $1 million in already.
Put it in. Put it in.
Just say call. Just say
There you
call.
go. Now the 2 8s show and shits themselves.
No, it's Jack
oh,
9.
it
It
is
is
Jack
Jack
9.
Okay.
Jack 9 suited versus pocket 9s.
Okay, that's. I think I'd rather have the Jack 9 versus 2 8s against 2 9s.
Yeah.
At least he's got clubs and a Jack as outs.
Yeah, it's definitely has more equity against 9s.
Shane, I hope you're not actually spoiling.
8s would be about 20% here.
Pocket 9s, Jack 9, 13 million in this pot. Deuce 4 6.
9s.
Aaron K
fade.
has 3 outs. 12% heading into the turn. Deuce of clubs not going to do it. He's dead to 1 of 3 jacks.
No Jack. And we have an elimination.
Oh,
There it is.
Ooh,
all
sweet.
because the dealer was slow too. Do
There
you
it
notice the
is.
difference between the fast dealer and the slow dealer?
Aaron K.
That's it.
That's like online when it takes an extra second to get that river out, and you know that ace is coming on the river to catch
Yeah.
it.
So Shane Lavallo
Wow.
did spoil
And
that
they're
for
on
everybody.
break.
After that, we go to break.
Wow, River Jack here. 1,040 of you watching. They're going to go on a 10-minute break. We are not going on break, and we are here with you throughout the conduct of the remainder of this final table. There's 6 remaining. We were very close to getting to 5 remaining, but with a literal 6% 3-outer on the river, Aaron K is going to survive hitting that miracle jack on the river versus pocket 9s.
Yeah, huge hand for him. Obviously, he doesn't bust out of the tournament, but now he has a pretty good chip stack to continue with. And sometimes that's all it takes is one hand.
Somebody
they'll
do
keep
something
going.
about Shane. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean you got to win those kind of hands to win a tournament sometimes. I mean that's just like that's what keeps people coming back to poker is when you hit hands like that. It's like, "Oh, this is a
Seems
very
to
good
happen all the
feeling."
time here. I guess it happens all the time in poker. I see enough hands where it does, but man, we see it on the stream a lot. And it is not rigged, I swear.
Yeah, I don't know who this Shane Lavallo person is, but he probably does deserve to get banned.
So Ben, you know we have the bad beat going on. It's like 38,000 right now.
That's right.
So there was a story about the bad beat. Some guy had a straight flush, turned to straight flush, and he does the exact wrong thing. He goes all in.
Oh, instead of milking it.
Yes,
the
instead
very end?
of milking it and maybe letting somebody get like a full house or something he could really get money off of, he goes all in, and a guy folds a set of jacks face up,
And the river is a jack?
They say, let us see the river. And
No,
it's the
no,
jack,
don't show me the jack.
It's the jack of clubs, which would have triggered our bad beat for $38,000.
I'm getting up from the table, leaving my money there, and never coming back if that happens to me. Wow.
Yep. So if you're listening,
that's
and you
like
want
a
to hit
double
that
bad beat.
Yeah, if you're listening, and you want to come hit that bad beat, you got to have tens beat by a straight flush or higher, and you can get your share of $38,000. And just like those people almost did. And by the way, if you get a straight flush, go ahead and try checking that baby and see what happens.
Yeah. Wow.
I usually give bad playing advice, but I think that's a pretty good one.
So this is the, for those that are just tuning in, this is the final 6 players of the Poker Atlas $250,000 guarantee payday poker tournament. We also have the CEO of Poker Atlas in the booth with us, John, and he's with us the whole night, I think. And we are just so pumped to have this tournament go off this week and go off without a hitch, really. Like a super efficient tournament, huge turnout, 1,300 entries, all ponying up a $600 buy-in with unlimited re-entries. And apparently they're going to be running more of these tournaments throughout the year, which is super exciting. It's really good for Texas poker, and it's attracting more and more people from all over the country. For Texas Card House specifically in Dallas, we do have the Bad Beat Jackpot running. And also, if you plan this far ahead, in 2022, we're actually putting on a poker cruise, circa card player from like 15 years ago. March 20th through 27th, Texas Card House is putting on a 7-night Liberty of the Seas Royal Caribbean cruise with a full TCH poker room. So we're leaving from Galveston, Texas, which is, a destination in itself, and heading over to Roatan, Costa Maya, and Cozumel, all while donating at the Felt on the Seas. So if you're into that kind of thing, head on over to TexasCardHouse.com and you can get the info. Pretty good prices, $800 a person for an interior room, and it goes up a little bit there for ocean view and balcony rooms. So if you're into the poker cruise thing, check out the TCH Poker Cruise, March 20th through 27th, 2022, on Liberty of the Seas with Royal Caribbean. So we've got John here from Poker Atlas. For those that aren't aware, Poker Atlas is one of the leading software platforms for, how would you categorize it? Because you don't just do aggregating data anymore. How would you categorize the platform?
It's so hard to explain, honestly. I hate when people say, well, what do you do? What does your company do?
It's like, if you're, okay.
Yeah, I like to compare us to, like, open, for people who don't know poker, I say, well, are you familiar with Open Table? Where you can see, different restaurants in the area and, reservation times and then book those reservations. That's kind of how I explain what we do. But, yeah, basically we're an enterprise software provider for card rooms and casinos to manage their poker operations. But we're also, a sort of a poker room directory and let's call it a game finder.
Yeah.
Site for poker enthusiasts.
That's awesome.
And our software is integrated with our website and mobile app to show live information. So for example, if you go and check out the Poker Atlas app or website right now and look up Texas Card House Dallas, you'll see there's last we looked, 14 live games running here, and you can just very easily add your name to the wait list, get on the list, and drive on over and hop in one of the great games that are going on here, or any other Texas Card House property around Texas. We work with their Houston location, their Rio Grande Valley location. I believe we will soon be working with their Austin location.
Awesome.
And we're so thrilled. Just Texas Card House really is the pioneer of poker in Texas, and Texas has really become sort of the limelight of the poker scene, frankly, in the country right now, if not,
world.
Beyond
Come on.
beyond the country. And Texas Card House is where it all started. The company just has great ownership, great management. All of the locations are just amazing places to go and play, and just good, free, not free as in free, but great locations, clean, nice atmosphere, nice people, nice staff, great games, and they're a great partner. We love working with them.
Yeah, and they've operated completely above board the whole time, and so they've continued to set the example in terms of running this thing in a way that's acceptable and attractive to the mainstream, so that it's not like it's, especially in Austin and Houston, we've developed such a large foothold in terms of just Texas membership poker clubs that now it's so big that it's like almost too big to fail, which is great in that now more and more clubs are popping up. They're doing it the right way, which isn't shady. It's not trying to like take an additional rake. People are trying to hold to the model, and that's good for improving the variety of the games and the number of games, and all that's been good. And it's led by, Texas Card House started it. I was in Austin when they had kind of a grungy south location, but they opened up the north location, which turned it into this like really professional looking environment that really caused Texas poker to skyrocket from there, where they basically said, hey, we've proved a concept that is different from how casinos do it, and we're done trying to force our way with the city councils to try to get actual casino type gambling. We're going to do it a membership way, and that's just been a huge win for everybody.
And it's amazing how, just how much of a pioneer you guys are. We get so many calls every week with new properties or prospective new people with plans to open new properties, and I'd say about 96% of them call us and say, we want to do what Texas Card House does. Just can you give us
that
what
plan.
Texas Card House does?
Yeah.
Oh, we want the screens exactly where Texas Card House has them, and we want chips that look like them. Can you get our chips to look like them?
Is that a service that you'll offer in terms of outside of software? Do you consult on? Not
really, no. We do provide tables now, not directly. We work with a company called 916 Poker Depot. They're a great table manufacturer. We've been really referring all of our new customers to them because they do such a great job with
That's cool.
tables and felts, and they do, I believe, provide some other supplies, but no, we pretty much just stick to software. That's what we're good at. That's what we enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you have is great. I've had every job in the industry, from a tournament director, room management, to a dealer. The tablets you can see on our screen right now are a great interface. Makes it so easy to interact with the players. You know everybody's name. You can make them feel welcome. If the people out there don't have the Poker Atlas app, then the first thing you should do right now is download it, so you can see what poker rooms are in your area. It's a great tool for players. And the tournament directing software, I'll say, is second to none. I love using it. It makes my job way easier and more efficient.
Do you know Lane Mann?
Yes, and it's Ian.
Ian.
Looks
oh,
like
sorry.
Lane,
It looks like an L. My bad.
It's
Ian.
a capital I, Ian Mann.
Oh yeah, he's in the chat talking some tech with some of the players.
Ian works for Poker Atlas. He's sort of our Texas representative that does most of our Texas installations and training and support. Ian was actually here helping out with day one, flight A and B.
That's cool.
Bummed you guys didn't get a chance to meet him.
Working on a Sunday.
Nice
You
guy.
found good people.
What's up, Ian? This is Matt Mooring, buddy. How are you?
What's up? What's up? It looks like we're back from break, and we've got some Broadway hands
Ace
percolating
King versus
here.
King Queen here.
So Leo Black, instead of shoving this time, he raised to 1.2. And Stephen B's going to shove over the top on the button with Ace King off. And Leo Black's going to immediately get out of the way. Yeah, it sucks because you feel obligated to open King Queen there, but then if you get shoved on, you just have to fold most times, unless the prices go up. Or, I'm sorry, somebody knocked on the door, I got distracted. Unless their chip stacks were smaller. So shout out to everybody that stuck with us through the break. There's 700 of you. I don't blame people for leaving during the break, but let your friends and family know that we're back at it again, and we're playing for 100,000 real bucks. Now Ian's getting peppered with all the tech questions now. So people have asked about. This may be a good time to get just feedback about the app. Like asked about adding on time within the app, which could be a helpful feature for the membership style clubs where you basically have to add on time. People are bringing that up.
Yep, we are working on that. That should be released pretty soon. It's in test right now.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Works great. So
that'd be a great addition.
really offering the ability for players to, from their mobile phones, directly on the Poker Atlas app, purchase access or time, or it's called different things in different places, but basically purchasing membership fees directly through the phone, instantly crediting their account at the property that they would like to deposit the funds at.
Philip goes all in.
That would be a huge win. I mean, because that, especially in times when you're like stuck and you don't want to be asked like, hey, you want more time? It's like kind of tilting to be asked if you want more time. And so it'd be great to even set it up to like an auto top-up type thing. Yeah, that'll be a nice addition.
We also, something else we just added actually to Texas Card House Dallas yesterday. You'll now notice when you look at Texas Card House's page on Poker Atlas, you'll see a button called My Account.
I saw that.
So you can now click on that button, enter your account number, which is you'll see on your Texas Card House Dallas card, and your PIN, which you'll have to set up here in property, or on the property, at the property, and you'll see your balance. So
nice.
You'll know right away how much you have in your account. And so really, again, just sort of making it easier for players to find out what they want without having to walk over to one of the nice, pretty girls that work at the front here.
And that's
which maybe some like to do anyway.
Yeah, but an excuse. But imagine some hate asking over and over. But that's like such a no-brainer to add that feature, to allow people to self-serve. Like anytime you can allow people to self-serve is good for the efficiency of the game. Tuna's going to call here, Jack 5 in the cutoff versus Philip C's Ace King. I'm not sure what's happening.
I think Tuna raised, Ace King shoved, and Tuna just felt like he had some, enough money in the pot.
So Tuna made it look like 3.1, and now he's calling for 5.5.
And I'll tell you what, Tuna's thrilled to see Ace King here, not a pair, because he's got 2 live cards.
Tuna is not giving many Fs right now.
It's
Jack
about
5
as good
off.
as he can get. Well, he's got the chips for it.
It's no fun to lose here with the Ace King, though. So there it is.
There's a 5.
Wow.
All Tuna needs.
So Tuna sucks out, right?
So far.
Unless I'm reading. Yeah. So
Nope.
Philip C's dead to an ace or a king right now for his tournament life. 10 of diamonds on the river. Philip C is going to be eliminated in 6th place for $17,000. Tuna is going to win that like 12 million chip pot, and everybody is now guaranteed $22,000.
Nobody on that table wanted Tuna to win.
Oh, what a hand.
And he just lost all respect from all future raises.
Oh, my gosh. You can see everybody flabbergasted. Like, what are you doing? This money, like that.
Well, what he's doing is taking advantage of tight players. I mean, that's what he's doing. In this game, I mean, you're never crushed. I mean, he was about as far behind as you can get, and he was still almost 30%. Not where you want to be, but that's a worst-case scenario.
That is wild.
Now they're all thinking to themselves, so when I folded my 3s to you, you had hands like Jack 5?
Yeah. And that's interesting because he called with the Jack 5. It would be one thing if he shoved.
Well, he basically raised, and then he was sort of priced in to make a call at that point.
Yeah.
I think he felt like he was getting appropriate pot odds, as they call it. And he was right.
Wow.
And it worked. It looks like a hero when it works. It looks like a total moron when it doesn't. Fish looks like, or Tuna looks like a big fish when the Jack 5 doesn't get there against the Ace King.
And I think Tuna really wants, like, I don't think he's obviously not thinking about ICM. You can tell that the way he plays. Yeah. But he wants to win this thing. He wants to gamble a little bit, and he wants to take it down. He doesn't want to ladder up to 4th place. And he's only going to do that by throwing chips in and gambling a little bit.
Man, I would be frustrated if I had the Ace King, though.
Well,
that would be tough, but that's poker. I mean, you love to see Jack 5 versus Ace King in the long run, but it hurts.
You're putting that on Facebook later or Twitter or what?
Yeah.
This guy raised to me. I had Ace King. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody cares.
Steven, who raised the 5.
So John D, a rare 3-bet here on the button with Ace Queen. Stephen B is aware of that. He's got pocket 5s. he would love to set mine here against John D, but yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, I guess the first 3-bet by John. We haven't had many pre-flop, and that's the first one by John. You got to respect it. 5s are just don't hold up well against that. Any of those baby pairs, especially when a person has that many chips, because they don't have to be in there.
Right.
If they had less, you could call because their range is much wider.
So we're playing.
John's picking his spots.
We're down to 5. We started with 1,300, and these are the final 5. They're guaranteed $22,000. 2.2 stacks of high society. We're playing 300K, 600K with a 600K big blind ante. 73 hands in. We're almost 3 hours into this final table. My name's Ben. I'm here with Matt and John. John is the CEO of Poker Atlas. They are the company that partnered with us for this, or we partnered with them for the $250K guarantee payday event, of which they're going to run many more after this.
Yeah, they should.
Especially after the wild success from this tournament.
I don't know all of our locations coming up for the payday events, but I do know that we plan to run one in Houston and down in Edinburgh at Texas Card House, North Houston or Spring. I forget what
Spring.
Yep, Spring.
Sweet.
And at the Texas Card House location down in South Texas in the Valley. Perhaps in Austin, we'll see. As well as hopefully a few other locations around.
Houston, you'll get a great response. Houston is so good for poker right now. Like, they are growing a ton. East Coast Grinder, what happens if you bust your roll at TCH and couldn't pay membership fees? I don't think you could play anymore. I think you got bigger problems than not being able to pay membership fees.
You prepay everything, so.
Right. Yeah, it's not a post collection, it's a pre-collection.
No credit.
Yeah, nothing's done on the board here.
Steven goes all in with ace-7. Putting the sweat on Leo on the button with the mystery hand, which obviously isn't aces or kings.
You wash dishes. Yeah. I promise Leo Black is not calling here on the button with queen 10 off. He's thinking about it, though.
I don't think I would be tremendously shocked if he calls here. Not necessarily because he thinks he has a great hand, but I think he's probably mad at himself for playing so tight up to this point. And I could just see him talking himself in, saying, I told myself I wasn't going to quit folding, or I wasn't going to keep folding. Told myself. No, but
he did the
didn't
patent,
get there.
He did the patented two-finger fold that you
Two-finger
mentioned
fold.
earlier.
Yeah. But
that really puts him in just a bad situation chip-wise. Now
yeah.
I mean, he has no choices but to put his money in. That was a pretty good spot.
I think
right
at this
there.
point he's probably happy with 5th place money. I mean, he's been sort of playing, a bit nitty to get to this point. And I think he's probably going to go home and think, man, if only I would have played a little more aggressive.
earlier.
I mean, obviously anything could happen at this point. But if he does, in fact, end up going out with a, tiny little shove here.
In his defense, he hasn't had great spots either. You know, getting help from the cards always helps, but you definitely have to make your own fortune here on the final table.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunately he's been in these kind of spewy spots where he's opened once but had to fold to 3-bets over and over, and that's just no way to build a stack. But sometimes it's unavoidable, like you said.
Pretty decent hand, and he has the chips to start playing these hands pretty strong.
22 million behind.
Yeah, that fold by Leo right there just screams frustration. We're going to see him put it in with any borderline hand pretty soon.
I think he's going to end up, finally getting an ace-queen or something and not having enough chips.
Of ace-queen.
He's going to finally stick it in, and he's going to get called by the 7-3, who has no choice but to call because his stack is so small. And he's just going to be
I mean, the blinds
just going to be angry
the blinds
about
and
it.
antes are 1.5 million. So he really can't even let them go through again, or else he's just completely crippled.
So we are heads up here. We're seeing a flop.
2 hands. Pretty likely to chop here if something would happen.
10-7-9. So Aaron K inside straight draw. John D backdoor nut clubs. Both with ace high.
First bet wins.
$1.5 million from Aaron K. John D's got the chips to be able to float once, but this is a very wet board.
Yeah,
and he's just going to get out of there.
Yeah, he's not much of a floater,
He's
Mr.
got-
John.
Doesn't have much of a hand. He's out of position.
And it's, why,
Probably not.
his game is so far worked out for him.
He doesn't have to either. He can fold. He can make.
He
that
could fold his way for $10,000 more,
Yeah.
really.
If you want to talk ICM, he's the guy to be thinking about it right there. Probably just a textbook hand there.
Yeah. So like I said, all these players are guaranteed $22,000. The next player,
But if the button checks there, John should open up on the turn.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that does look a little weird, a little stop and go, but
300.
So Leo's hoping for anything here. Look, let me see an ace or a king. Any ace or king,
got-
I'm
Leo-
all in.
He's got like $2
yeah,
million
he,
in chips.
he should just shove here. He's got the most value.
Oh, he's in
He is
100%.
definitely in.
He's shoving here. He's going to get called by the queen deuce, and he's going to be mad that the queen deuce beat him. But ultimately, it's because he didn't have enough chips.
Gotta
Yeah,
$3
he doesn't have
million
enough
behind.
chips to scare anybody into a fold with a speculative hand, especially if they're in the blind. John.
I mean, John has to call with
About
any.
to say, yeah.
Assuming it's folded to John, he has to call with any two here.
Yeah, he
And
just beat
ace
me to
10 just
that.
doesn't play that well against any two. Small favorite.
The queen
Yeah,
deuce.
queen two.
And
Wow,
Leo
he
Black's going to get it
folded.
through.
Four.
So he added a $1.5 million to
Wow.
his stack pretty much.
Yeah, John should have called there. Absolutely. You have to call there to eliminate a player in that spot.
But he folds, and you do save doubling up, Leo. At least that's the one plus to that. I agree with the call. But after these blinds go through, it's going to put Leo right back in the same exact position.
It's good to see everybody chatting. This is the stage of the tournament where people could really start to get internal and really start grinding and not saying anything, putting their hoodies up. But it's good to see that these guys are all chatting it up still. 12 hours in, almost 13 hours in. Aaron K, King 9 off. He's got 14 million behind. He's got a few chips to play with.
I'll tell you what, though, the chairs here at Texas Card House are so damn comfortable that playing for 13 hours, you feel like you just got here an hour ago.
I've heard that a bunch.
So comfortable.
Because you do oftentimes sit in these rooms that have basically dining room chairs that'll wear on you if you're sitting there for 12 hours. And they've also, kept the chairs in pretty good condition too.
Yeah, it's nice too. A lot of tournament places set up tournament rooms and halls and whatnot, and there you get the banquet
Those
chairs.
banquet chairs.
those are horrible.
Here, yeah. The cash players are a little begrudged, but we do give the tournament players the cash tables, and they are very comfortable.
Yeah, poker players can generally be hard on the furniture, but so far, the staff here has done good at preserving the furniture here, so everybody can have a good experience. And I agree. We're sitting in the chairs currently, and they are comfy. And that makes all the difference when you're playing a game that is a long-term game. Stephen B, I imagine, is going to be folding the 7-5 under the gun.
Tuna knows he's been revealed now, so he's
He has.
he's tightening up a little bit.
He
He's
has.
got to repair his image some.
Yeah, somebody's asking about the hourly fee for multi-table tournaments. It's the hourly is covered in the access fee. You're not paying hourly for tournaments. That would be brutal.
And then right now we have a special on the cash. It's 5 hours for $55, which is a great deal. And you can buy as many of those as you want.
That's right. So it behooves you to buy in bulk, and you're paying $2 an hour less per hour. That's redundant. You're paying $2 an hour less. And so
And now it's really redundant since you said it.
Every single hour.
every single hour is $11 an hour if you buy it in increments of 5 hours. That's what you need to understand.
Tuna just keeps getting the jack now just to haunt.
Yeah.
You're like, anything better than a jack. Jack.
Leo Black. Now here's a position. It's folded to you on the button with
This
ace-3
is a
off.
mandatory shove.
He has to stick it in here. Don't get scared. You're not getting any better than this in the next 3 hands. Put it in, buddy.
Yep.
There we go.
Makes the tower.
Boom. All in.
Puts it in.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Aaron.
Aaron is going to reshove. Oh, wait. He's got a lot of
Yeah,
chips.
he does have a lot of chips.
I could see.
I still think he reshoves here. For what, 14
He
million
did.
or something?
He
16
did.
million? Yep.
Oh, and Steven holding Leo's outs with the identical hands.
King Queen suited, such a pretty hand. Except when it loses to a naked
I have
ace.
to say, I always get so nervous when I play it. Because you usually know you're behind, but not too far. This is a flip. And then with the ace being gone, if Aaron does hit, he is in Wonder World.
Oops.
And he
Oh!
One of the queen in the window and one of the last two aces
Ace,
is the last
queen,
card to
eight.
be revealed. So Aaron is back as an underdog. Oh! Hits it on the turn.
Oh my gosh.
And just hits it on the turn.
Wow, dead to one out. Leo Black's tournament life on the line, and 7 of spades isn't going to do it. So Leo Black grinded and grinded, got sucked out on the turn against Aaron K. King Queen hits a miracle on the turn, and Leo Black's going to be eliminated in 5th place for $22,000.
And we're down to 4.
Down to
just
4.
like that.
Now we're at some real money here, people. Everybody's guaranteed 30 grand. Wow.
That's almost commentator wage.
Yeah, almost. If they're lucky.
That's all you guys are getting paid for this?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, small peanuts.
That and unlimited Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, the dynamics of this game have now changed a lot. You're down to 4-handed. Got a couple of pretty deep stacks. We're going to see, I think, a lot more aggression.
You're about to say, you got to ramp up the aggression. You can play a lot of this without even looking at your cards. Just straight position raises. If it's folded around to you in the small blind, you should be raising almost automatically. Same with the button.
The money's also escalated enough now to where there's a psychological component, I think, that
Yeah.
people now feel like they've already got $30,000 under their belts and they can sort of loosen up a little bit, take more chances.
Free rolling a bit.
Because it's no fun to, get knocked out ninth for 8K when you can survive a couple more spots. So
There's still a big jump between 4th and 3rd.
mm-hmm.
But once you get 3rd place, I think that factor is really ramped up. And Steve, and this, like I said, normally a speculative hand right here. I think this is an auto raise hand. And you don't
30.
need to raise huge. You don't need to put your whole stack in. But you'll see there, he definitely get a fold from Tuna.
I mean, Tuna's going to raise any 2 against John because he knows he can outplay John post-flop. And John plays a pretty transparent type of style. He's raising with real hands and calling with mediocre hands and folding with most hands.
Tuna's probably just going to keep barreling at this.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tuna knows here he can bet any flop, and although contrary to this situation,
Good flow by,
now
good
Tuna
flow by
probably slow down unless he gets a nice scare card to
4 of hearts.
tell a good story.
Pretty equal sized stacks. Tuna's not giving up here. Looks like 4 million.
4
kind
million.
of a string bet. John D. If King High was good on the flop, it's good on the turn.
Good spot for a raise here with King.
What kind of size do you make it? Do you make it like 9 million?
I think he makes it a fold.
He does.
He does. Tuna knows that he's kind of fit or fold most of the time.
And that's a pretty good pot to steal, man.
Yeah, I mean, these
With
pots are pretty
with the
valuable
flop
each time.
action. And then John had, 24 million a while ago. He's just getting whittled away.
Big Tuna doing what he does. I mean, once you get to the point where you know how to steamroll this table, it's hard to beat a person that's in a position where they've got chips and the insight into how to steamroll the other players. Everybody else is kind of letting them do it.
Is Tuna a local here? Is he a Dallas guy?
He's a regular. I don't know if he's local. but
Okay.
he's
He
a reg.
he lives out of state. He's a traveling professional poker player, and he's been in Dallas for several months here. Plays here just about every day.
Man.
He's a really good guy, really entertaining guy to have at the table. He's never boring. Great to talk to, fun to watch to play,
It's
fun
good
to
for
play
the
with.
action. He's going to limp here on the button. So that's a gear change as well.
That's even scarier than his raise almost.
Yeah, it's like, why is he? What is he limping? This is his first limp ever.
It was 6-5. Yeah, really no reason to raise here. Try to get him off a hand.
So Aaron K. off of that huge rush of a hand, catching a miracle queen on the turn. That board only connects with Big Tuna here.
Tuna checks. Pretty wet board, but Tuna likes his hand. He just wants to see another card. I don't think he puts Aaron on a king, or he would have raised pre-flop maybe. But we're going to find out. Aaron just throws out a bet.
It's a good bet.
Into the wind.
It's not an easy call for Tuna there.
It was a quick call, it seemed like.
Now he's in trouble, though, because now he's got absolutely nothing.
Great card for Tuna.
That is a great card for Tuna.
It takes a lot of balls to fire again here, but if he does,
he knows he can't win at showdown.
I think Tuna can fold here to a bet.
Oh, he's going to value
wow,
bet
what
here.
a bet.
Did he turn the nines into a bluff there? Surely not. He's betting super thin value.
Yeah, I guess just going for that kind of anti-conventional wisdom, but it's whatever he's doing's working
Dude,
for him.
Yeah, he's just chipping up, bro. He's
Stick-
got to be feeling so good. Cash game reg, but we've seen him a couple times at final tables.
I think I'm really impressed. He's really changed his style. I mean, he's obviously the most wide-open player on the table, but
Yeah, the rest of
Cash,
these guys
he's like
are,
that almost every other hand he's getting in there.
The rest of these guys are pretty much waiting for premium still. Like Jack 7 might be an open folded 2 on the button there, four-handed.
With that many chips, I mean, throw a raise out, see if you can steal it. If they fight back, you can get away with it. You've got position. And he probably would have walked if he would have raised.
Nick Funk, thin value. Let's go. We love that. Yeah, that was super thin value. I like it.
I like raises on the river like that for image. I think they help in like your frequencies. But when people can see what you play 15 minutes later on the wall behind you,
6,
not
8,
sure
7
if that's
here.
relative.
I'm sorry. 7, 8 deuce. I must be losing my mind here. Deuce 7, 8. No, it is 6, 8, 7. I was right. So
Messing with it. Wait, that might change again. Hold on.
So Aaron K's got a double gutter here, and Steven has a pair and an inside straight draw. Aaron K betting 1.3 and Steven B coming along with a call. 4.4 in the middle, heading into a pretty important turn card. Oh, 5 of clubs. So Steven B hits a perfect straight card here. Steven's got an 8 high straight. Aaron K has got a pair now.
They call it the dumb end of the straight, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
Aaron K continues to bet here. Looks like 2.4 million maybe. Stephen B, what do you do here with the bottom end of the straight? It's a 4-liner, so all the 9s are crushing you, but how often does Stephen B have a random 9 here? Maybe some portion of the time.
Yeah, it did just, without that pre-flop action, he could really have any 2 cards, but the odds are in your favor.
Ooh, he
Looks
goes
like
all in.
Looks like he just jammed, yeah.
Wow.
So he's saying, do you have a 9?
Please don't call. Please don't call.
This is interesting, though, because anything that, I guess,
Well, he knows that Aaron doesn't have a 9, so he's thrilled to not get snap called here. I think he knows he's ahead.
just trying to think about what you try to accomplish here by shoving here then. Because the only thing that calls you is a 9 or a chop.
Yeah, you probably
You
just
could
could have.
potentially have 2 pair, but
Oh, yeah, you're right. All
Um,
the sets called, maybe.
yeah.
Maybe. So that was a nice pot for Stephen B. This is funny. No. Always thin value, they commentate. Never thick value. Why?
Thick value is good when you can get it, but sometimes
Thick-
you
thick
get it
with
right.
2 C's.
Sometimes you end up giving thick value instead. That's,
Yeah.
that's the
Oftentimes when you try
downside.
to get some of that thick value, it comes up back to bite you. Thick value on yourself. Almost 1,000 of you back watching the conclusion of this $250K guarantee final table. Thank you for joining us. If you're liking the stream, hit the like button for us. Also subscribe. We're almost at 19,000 subs for TCH Live. It's continuing to grow month over month. Thick value. I'd wear that T-shirt.
Thick value.
THICC value.
Bet for thick value.
Yeah, somebody should trademark that if they haven't already. Because, nobody cares about thin value. Let's get some thick value. We are up to 309 likes, so that's a third of the viewers. Thick value to the moon. That's right. All right, we're still four-handed. Everybody's $30,000 richer already. Guess how much of that we're going to get, we commentators? None of it. Unless they do.
We get thin value.
We get very thin value.
Thin value.
We don't usually get the tips from the tournament winners, unfortunately. It'd be nice to get a piece of that 100K.
I got a thank you the other day. That was very gratifying.
Oh, you did? Like a
Yeah.
verbal thank you or a financial thank you?
Just a verbal.
Sometimes those mean more.
No, actually, doing the commentating has helped me really connect with a lot of the players. A lot of the chat people come in and say hello to me.
That's fun.
And it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing this.
Wes Harris subscribed and liked. Thank you for all. Absolutely. Appreciate you joining us and for the love.
I probably actually lose money by doing this and not being out there dealing or playing or doing something else. But
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. Like I said, the connection with the people listening and watching is one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun to be on the leading edge of this Texas poker thing. It's fun to get our voices out there and be able to give our expert analysis, our invaluable expert analysis on this low to mid stakes poker. Way too tight four-handed. Yeah, I mean, all these chips should be going in there, I think, but everybody's trying to pick their spot to ladder up.
There's also no rush. You don't have to raise every button, every this, but
Right. And the difference between fourth and third is $16,000. So, like, that's no joke. 30 to 46,000.
G Miles says, hi, Matt. Hey, G, what's up?
What up? What up? And we still have John in the booth, the CEO of Poker Atlas, which has been super fun to have a third voice in the booth. Me and Matt can kind of get boring after a while, Us saying the same jokes and commentary after a while. It's nice.
I never get bored of myself.
It's been
I don't
nice
know
to
what
have John.
you're talking about.
Yeah. It's always nice to have more people to play off of in the booth. Thank you for everyone's.
Are you going to play any poker when you get back to Vegas? Some of the Venetian, the Wynn's having a big series coming up.
I'm going to try to this summer if I can. Yeah, there's a lot of events coming up in the summer in Vegas. I'll definitely play in some for
Everybody's
sure.
got ground to make up.
Mm-hmm. And I guess without the World Series happening at the normal time, Venetian and Wynn.
Yeah, the Wynn put a huge guarantee out.
Yeah, they're doing a 10K buy-in, basically similar to the World Series main event. I'm going to try to play in that one.
If Poker Alice is looking for some people to sponsor,
That's right.
Hit me up. I'll fly out there.
Yeah.
You
We
won't
commentators
have
are
to
happy
throw in
to go play.
airfare or hotels or anything. Just the 10K for the buy-in.
Yeah, that's right. Just the 10K for the buy-in. Happy to wear that patch.
Yeah,
Proudly.
yeah.
Yeah, we'd get thick value from that.
That's right.
That investment, I'm
It'd be
sure.
like 2006 all over again. It's like, hey, we're gonna pay you $300,000 to play to wear this tiny patch.
I remember the first World Series I went to, like 12 years ago or something. And you see the players walk around. They look like race car drivers with all the patches going
Dude.
down. It was just like, what is this guy doing?
Those guys were making so much money doing that, from what I heard.
Yeah, there was just a lot of corporate.
All those
business
companies
money
were just
back
like,
then.
take it. Here's the
Oh,
patch.
yeah.
We'll pay you.
I'm happy to say I got in on some of that money.
Oh yeah, that's tight.
Good.
I did.
Who did you play for?
I played for Team Poker Stars, starting in 06 until about,
Oh, you were there in the
09?
golden era.
and then UB. Had a sponsorship from UB, everybody's
awesome.
favorite.
To play live or online? Or
Both.
I don't know if that'll ever happen again. Because I heard, like, basically there were brands at the door that were like, hey, do you want a patch? Do you want a patch? Maybe that's exaggerating a little bit. But
So basically, the way it was, if you and this is back in like 2005, 2006, most of the final tables were televised on ESPN.
yeah.
If you made it, maybe not most, but probably half the events, give or take, a third of them, whatever, a lot of them
Like the
compared
5K
to now.
plus.
So what they were doing was, if you made a televised final table, you were instantly getting a patch deal for 20,000 minimum.
Yeah.
And the
That's
typical
amazing.
deal was
That's amazing.
20,000 to wear the patch. If you finish second or third, you get 40,000, and if you won, 60,000.
Nice.
Wow.
And that's if you're a nobody. If you were a
Yeah,
somebody, your deal was more favorable. And then by 2007, 2008, that money started to go down a bit, but was still available.
And were they,
But yeah, now
comp and
it's-
buy-ins and stuff for the big team pros?
Yeah.
I mean, I think pros now, like they've got it's a different market, but with streaming and ambassadorship with the websites, I think they're even making more money now, although it's not as public.
Absolutely.
Dwayne Bartlett says, "Can you explain in position a little better, please?"
Well, you want to go last. You want to let the other person act, so you can react off them when they check or are passive. You can bet and take the aggressive route or line.
So the position that you're in compared to the rest of the players dictates the type of hands that you play, because if you're first to act, that means the rest of the players get the opportunity to react to what you do. And so you need a stronger hand relative.
Like Aaron on the button here, he's going to act last with kings,
So
which
you-
is a good
A
position
good
and,
hand.
and a great hand.
But when you're in position, that means you go last or closer to last. The more in position you are, the closer to last you are. And when you're able to act last, you can see what everyone else does before you make your decision. So you have more information available to.
A lot of people might be more familiar, they aren't
Take
familiar with
advantage
poker, are
of.
familiar with blackjack, and that's really the dealer's big advantage.
Ooh, here we go. Here's a little saucy hand developing.
Yeah, Tuna's going to put some money in with an ace. He wisely just calls.
So if some clubs flop low, this could be very.
Oh, this-
So I pretty much called
This
it.
is just an absolute jam flop for Tuna here.
Tuna checks.
So Tuna flops a straight draw and the nut club draw, and Aaron K has got a massive
Straight draw,
overpay.
flush draw.
Tuna's a favorite against pocket kings here.
I think Tuna's going to try to get the chips in here.
He
They-
does.
All in
We
and
have
a
an all
call.
in a call.
This is a massive
We have the
pot.
suited ace versus the kings.
37 million chip pot, and they're just going right to the turn. Turn is a 7 of spades. That's no good
Great.
for Tuna.
Well, it gives him more outs.
A club
Oh,
on the
Tuna
river.
gets
Tuna
there.
There's
rivers,
the club.
Tuna rivers the nut flush to
And-
cripple Aaron K. He's got 2 million chips left.
Well, and that really puts Tuna in control.
37 million chip pot, and Tuna now has a huge portion of the chips in play.
That's what he has. He almost has 10 million there.
Tuna about to be sashimi. Yeah, he
So how many chips were in play in this tournament?
1308 times 50,000.
That's
Whatever
too
that,
much math for
whatever
my
that
head.
is, I don't know.
It's on the clock.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Yeah, if you can see the clock, there's a total chip line.
Let's see here. Where did that clock go?
I thought you had it up. That's why
I did have it
asked.
up, but it closed out earlier. I'll find it eventually.
And there's the payouts, 100,000 for first. I think that hand puts
Yeah,
Tuna.
Tuna is in very
Tuna
good
in the
shape now,
odds-out favorite to take down 100K.
which he already was the favorite, I think.
I think
honestly,
so.
but now he's a big favorite.
Yeah, I think he was one of my favorites going in, and people just didn't adjust to his play. They didn't play back at him enough, and then he finally, I don't know, I don't even want to call it got lucky, but caught a card to take a commanding chip lead, and we'll see if he can change his style a little bit and be able to pick these guys off. It's not easy. We'll see these guys sitting around waiting for premium hands. I mean, get kings on the button. What more can you ask for in a tournament, right?
Yeah.
It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Trying to
You
find
know,
my
it's not all about the cards at this point. You know, it's all about how you play them.
I got to say, Victor, who just handed the chips over to Tuna up in the top left of the screen in the blue suit, loved the blue suit.
It is striking.
He is-
I think he got a lot of compliments on that
I
today.
really like that color. That is a good-looking suit.
63,175,000 total chips.
So I think
Tuna has over half.
I think Tuna has. Okay.
Or I mean, with that 37 million chip pot, he's got to have at least over half.
Yeah, this Aaron's down to dust, really.
Very unfortunate. You know, that's super disappointing going in, playing 13 straight hours today. You know, just a perfect flop for a 6 of clubs. 37 million, there you go. Now, I think it behooves you to fold for a bit, right? Like ICM would say, you could literally make an additional $16,000 pretty easily.
What's interesting here is Tuna, that you couldn't see the whole table, but Tuna's on a pure free roll here. He puts his whole stack in, knowing that John can't call because Aaron has no chips.
Yeah.
And John's never going to, I mean, he literally would potentially fold even something like aces, maybe not
To
literally
win, what,
aces.
like $20,000 for the next pay
He's
jump?
going to fold
16.
most cards there because the pay jump is so big.
That's a really good
point.
point.
Good point.
That's cool. Or a cool spot to think about because it's kind of a rare spot to be in.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You feel for Aaron K, where it's just like,
And again, Tuna's just going to pump it up with an ace,
2
any
million.
ace, because he knows John's going to fold, and he has Aaron in the with basically any 2 cards. He's
This
going to
is
put
like
his money
Mortal
in.
Kombat.
Finish him.
Another suited ace 6 here for Tuna. It's been running pretty good for him so
Tuna-
far.
He's got a skinny lead.
$16,000 on the line for the rest of the players. Aaron K facing elimination here.
But he's got
6
enough-
in the door.
There he
Ace
is, right there. You're dead.
It's just, this
He's dead to a
always
king and a
happens.
jack.
Like, this always happens.
Well,
So Aaron K is going to be eliminated here in 4th place for $30,000.
I mean, if it didn't happen this hand, Tuna had the opportunity to do it next hand or the hand after, and eventually he's going to take him out. But he only needs 1 strike as Aaron gets 4th place money, which is not bad.
30 grand.
And Tuna just gets more chips, and I bet he is talking zero about chop out
Yeah,
there.
he
is talking zero. He might say no. That's about all he's saying.
the rest of these players are guaranteed $46,000. And Tuna has about 3/4 of the chips in play at least. Look at the stacks compared.
I know. I was just thinking like the picture of Jamie Gold on the final table.
Yeah,
He just had,
exactly.
like 80% of the chips in
Like
play.
2006 all over again.
It's not quite that much, but he's been feeling good, and he gets another ace.
The proportions. Where's my chat here?
And he's probably just going to, I mean, he's going to be raising any 80% of his hands here. He should be. Especially anyone that has an ace in it.
Ripper Magoo's. I hope if that's actually Bob Netter.
Wow,
that
he
would be
just
awesome.
called here, I think.
No, he took it to 1.5. And John gets kings with 13 million. And Tuna can get away from this.
Yeah,
Steven-
Tuna folds here. He
Steven
knows.
can definitely get away from his
He
hands.
doesn't need to risk
No.
a lot of chips right now. He's winning, small ball style. Doesn't need to gamble for
John
13 million, especially against John, who minimum has a better ace. Minimum.
Both of these guys are playing pretty rock tight.
Oh man, you can just taste it. 46 grand. Second place wins 70, and first place taking home $100,000. These guys have freaking been battling for 13 hours today.
Yeah, it's a long day.
With very few breaks. Just getting the thickest value for their $600 buy-in.
Thick.
If you're a fan of thick value, hit that like button for us.
Especially Tuna. He's getting some thick value.
That's right. East Coast Grinder. Tuna will chop if they guarantee him first place. Yeah, well, that sounds about right.
I think I've thrown people like small, like giving them an extra like 5% or something like that.
Just
Like
to
just
extra
take this and
Let's end it.
a lot of times they go for it. Steven, this is a player hand for sure.
Queen Jack suited. Blind versus blind. He knows his tournament's
Stick
on the
it
line.
in.
10 million,
I like
yeah.
it. Tuna folds. That's your only play there against a guy that
It's really your only play. You don't want to see a flop with him and miss and be in a bad position. Just put the pressure on him. They both have enough chips where he doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to double you up. And that's really all you have going for you at this point, I think.
Man, so we are getting so close to finishing this final table. I don't know that answer. Still almost 1,000 of you watching. Everybody's curious about whether or not Big Tuna can defend his waters. But also anything can happen in a no-limit tournament.
Tuna filleting the final table.
Oh, puns galore here for Big Tuna. Okay, John D's going to open it up. Jack 10 off in the big blind. So
well, maybe they picked up on how to play Tuna and maybe get back in this.
John D's got a real shot at this if he can get like a nice big double up here through Tuna once and then keep putting the pressure on. Stephen B's got some ground to make up a bit, but it's also anybody's game.
Tuna had basically the same plan, coming in and stealing pots. It isn't working now. These guys are playing back, so we'll see if he can figure out a way to make some adjustments. Might just be by folding and letting them kill each other.
Jimmy Bluffett, neither of us were with UB. John, the CEO of Poker Atlas, was with UB at one point. Pre all the craziness?
Oh, yeah.
UB?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would make sense since they dissolved after that. Tuna is about to get seared. So stupid. Tuna need a mohawk and diet blue, and he'd be a bluefin tuna. Wow. We opened up a can that we did not want to open up here.
Well, guys, I'm told that I've been requested to come out to the table, so I'm going to have to leave the booth.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure
But I want
having
to thank
here.
you guys again for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and thank you, Texas Card House, for working with us on this very fun Poker Atlas Payday event. Look forward to seeing you guys at future events. And
Absolutely. It was our pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
Great,
Bye,
John.
guys.
Great to meet you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the insight and for the stories, man.
Yeah. See you guys.
All righty, good luck. And so you're stuck with the two regulars here. Playtime's over. It's back to business. It's Ben and Matt in the booth. We're finishing up. We've got 3 players left.
It was nice to have some company, John.
Oh, it's very great.
John's a great guy. And certainly Poker Atlas is a fantastic product. Like we said before, if you haven't already, download the Poker Atlas app. And if you run a little poker room and you want to upgrade it and get some serious business,
That's right.
the Table Captain cash room and tournament software is second to none.
That's right. And John, clearly he knows the game really well. It's got history. It's cool to hear those stories from back from poker's heyday.
Those were pretty fun days.
Yeah, it's just cool to hear about that. It just feels
Steven shoving it with Queen 10. Tuna with Jack 6 going to snap fold. John surprisingly laying down the 7 deuce. I guess they're not playing the 7 deuce game tonight.
No, that could get real expensive real quick.
I was at a cash game today, and someone suggested they play the 7 deuce game, where you get a bonus if you win with 7 deuce in your hand, and everyone said no. The next 3 flops were 7 deuce deuce.
Wow.
It was insane, and then they still wouldn't do it.
They still wouldn't.
No, take a hint.
For real. It's so good for the game.
Now Tuna with 7 deuce, just like that. You just talk about it and it appears. Maybe I should talk about aces while I'm at the table and not 7 deuce. But he goes in.
Wow.
The madman.
He heard you.
The madman.
2.5. John D likes Jack 10 off, but in the small blind it's a little different than the big blind when you're closing the action. He's going to fold it. Stephen B can't do anything with the 9-3 unless
Oh,
it's a clear
Tuna's
bluff.
going to love this.
Tuna backwards is a nut. Yes, you're right. G Miles 42, good work tonight. Ben and Matt keeping me up past my bedtime. Us too, actually. Thanks, G Miles. Thanks
Yeah,
for
I'm
the
usually
love.
in bed by 10 o'clock. There you go. I mean, every pot right now is huge. Tuna stealing a pot from these guys not only adds to his monster chip stacks, but puts these guys in just a horrible position.
Yeah, you lose your ability to win pots by other than just shoving as you dwindle more and more. I mean, it doesn't help to be picking up hands like 7 deuce, but also
No, it doesn't really matter at this point. You see him just win. John's going to fold 7 deuce like the wind here.
it's true.
You know,
Unless you can put a min raise in there and oftentimes get it through.
Steven's probably going to fold this and just give Tuna another pot.
Stephen B. going a little methodical. He's going to
just call.
Call here.
Don't like that. If you've listened to me do tournaments, you know I'm not a fan of that move. And Tuna might show you why. Nah, he just checks, lets him off the hook.
Interesting, switching it up a little bit. Ace Jack 10. Tuna, double gutter ball here. He can catch a king or a 9 for a straight. He's going to try to realize some of that equity. 10 of hearts on the turn. No good. He improves equity-wise. Stephen B. going to bet a cool million here. Tuna, I imagine, is not going anywhere with his double gutter ball. River, 8 of diamonds. So Tuna, River's a pair. He doesn't know how good he is. Stephen B's got to put a bet out here if he wants to win it. Can't win at showdown. Tuna's going to bet thin value. That is the opposite of thick value. 500K into 3.9.
I don't even think he can bet that much.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, complete the bet. Complete the bet. I mean, if you're taking this long, Steve, and you know you're folding, clock's running, you're not doing yourselves any favor by tanking here. If you're the big stack, tanking might be actually probably a strategy I shouldn't even mention. But when you're the short stack, tanking like that only really kills you. I would do that all the time if I was a big stack in a tournament. I would just wait and let the clock tick. Really gets people mad.
Yeah, like tank on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And not enough to, just 30, 45 seconds.
That starts to add up, especially when you're looking for spots to push fold.
And those short stacks that are looking for something to do, it just puts them on tilt.
Streak bet, yeah, 800K. These guys are not getting, they're getting the worst type of hands, even though it shouldn't matter. You should be playing your position at this point, three-handed. But, Tuna waking up. This is the perfect cocktail of things happening at a final table. When you're playing good, you're getting good hands, and you're getting respect for your bets.
Yeah, but Steven's really, he can't do much but go all in with his stack if he raises. So he's got a little conundrum going on. John can still be making little raises, but he can't be making little 3-bets. Tuna's showing a good hand, trying to make up for that Jack 5 he played earlier. See, I know how to play good cards, too.
We are continuing this conclusion of the 250K payday event. 3 players remain. They're all guaranteed $46,000. Second place is going to win $70,000, and first taking home a very OCD-friendly, clean number, $100,000. No more, no less.
Tuna with 9-7. We'll see. He's got those chips. He can put in a raise with any 2 cards, but he folds his hand.
10 stacks of high society.
John's folding.
And so you don't, this is, when you do anything for 12 or 13 hours, it's probably hard to keep your cool, but you don't want to translate or telegraph that you're getting frustrated about the situation that you're in. Like if you're getting a bunch of terrible hands, some of these players have kind of indicated by their body language that they're waiting for premiums or dissatisfied with the hands they're getting, and you don't want to tell other players that, because good players are going to capitalize on that fact, because they're going to raise you every single time until you play back at them.
Yeah, these guys have really
Stephen B.
telegraphed their range. Steven just folds, man. Just giving Tuna more chips. Taking the big blind ante away from the guy that put it in, man. That's a big part of this tournament game.
That's right. I'm interested to see, someone brought up the trophy. I'm interested to see what happens with the trophy. Like, surely none of these guys can actually, they're going to have to put that trophy, through the window.
Well, Tuna's living in a hotel room right now because he's traveling around.
Oh, wow.
So he's going to have to lug that thing around until he goes back to Florida.
They probably need to, mail it
He
back
might just,
to his house.
leave it here for a couple months.
Yeah.
We've got room for it in the sound booth for you if you need some storage, Tuna.
Yeah. For a small fee, 10% of your first place.
This is pretty much a premium hand right here. Now, John still has enough. Steven doesn't have enough chips where Tuna can fold anything.
Tuna's got an ace.
But John still does. So he's going to raise. And we'll see if John acts. If you remember last time John came over the top,
Ooh,
Tuna fold. And I think John is definitely going to come over the top right here.
Michael Vo, it was a $600 buy-in, unlimited reentry tournament.
Yeah, he shoves.
16 million. Tuna's got 3/4 of the chips, or 2/3 of the chips in play.
Tuna asks for a count.
Probably need to pick a better spot than to call off here with ace-4.
Like he said, he just did this to him a couple hands ago. Short-handed ace, any aces. Looking good. Ace-4 is not the ace you want, but you can tell by the equity things. You're still 30%, which certainly isn't out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, 30% of the time it's going to work out for you. Stephen B is just praying that John D gets eliminated here, and he gets the ladder up from 46 to 70, $24,000 difference.
Yeah, that's about the best he can hope for, I think.
Yeah, with that stack.
Six double ups.
Tuna's called it off with Jack-5 before, so we've seen crazier, but I just don't see him continuing.
He just really doesn't want to double up. He's in a great position. He's stealing all these small pots.
Even just to ladder up to second place, like Stephen B is in a position that he can't.
I mean, pre-flop, there's $2 million in there. So why make a $14 million call when you're behind when you can just steal $2 million every hand?
That's right.
And then put these guys in a spot where you can make that call later when it's only $8 million and you've got more chips to dust off.
Antonio Williams, love watching these guys. Love the commentary. Antonio, thanks for the kind words. Thanks for being here. Be sure to hit that like button if you haven't.
Yeah, we've been relatively light with commentary trolls tonight.
Well, we had that spike from the esports world, and then everything, once they all left, it all got back to the chat pros.
And there's still 1,000 people watching this tournament, so
awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Sunday.
Still plenty of time to hit that like button.
Maybe Sunday night's a better night for us than Saturday night.
Yeah, it's a bigger tournament, too. I think we had some Poker Atlas.
For sure.
Definitely gave us
some publicity.
The esports.
Yeah, pretty cool interactions.
Oh, we're going to see a flop. What?
10-9 of diamonds versus King 10 of spades. A 10 on the flop. This could get interesting. Both players probably aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, I think someone's getting eliminated with this hand.
Check here. 6 of spades on the turn.
Tuna's just with the world.
John D betting into you. So now Tuna has 2 pair in spades.
I think Tuna shoves.
All in and shove? All in and a call?
Tuna shoves. John calls. Snap call. Sees
so Tuna's free rolling John D. And it's going to...
That's it. Tuna.
Oh, the king...
With the check
King
mark.
plays.
Yeah, king plays for sure.
So Tuna's going to eliminate John D in third place. And Stephen B, just like that, ladders up to second, winning $70,000. Wow. Stephen B is ecstatic. Now we're down to 2. John D played great, eliminated in third place, $46,000 he takes home. And Stephen B is now a new man.
Stephen B is like, hey, do you want to chop this 50-50?
$24,000 that he did not think he was going to win.
That's good to see. Steven's congratulating Tuna because he plays really well. I love to see the sportsmanship. And he's also happy to make an additional $20,000, $30,000 there with an elimination.
Even Tuna seems kind of shaken up about that run out. I imagine he's going to tip the dealers handsomely, hopefully. So we are heads up.
There we go. Now we got the button in the right place.
Stephen B. He's got 6.6 million. I imagine he's going to be getting it in here gladly. Jack 10 off. Button.
Tuna with gifts after gifts
this
after
could be
gifts.
it.
This is it.
This is almost a flip.
I'm calling it. This is it.
For Stephen B's
Tuna
tournament life.
Outplay the entire field with destiny on his side tonight, it seems.
9 of clubs.
Fills up on the turn. Stick the dagger in, $100,000 tuna. That's a lot of sushi, baby.
Wow,
How does that taste?
That's the best
How does
box
that taste?
of sushi you could ever ask for in the world. Tuna steamrolled this final table, running pure and playing pure. Stephen B., I'm sure, is ecstatic to win second after kind of a slow start and then a slow crawl up to second place. Wow, what a finish for Tuna. I mean, he deserves it.
Yeah, we see a lot of tournaments where people think it's just aces versus kings and flips. What we saw there was a person really just taking control of the final table, outplaying the whole field. You might say he caught a couple cards every now and then, but he put himself in the position to get that. So if you're watching this, try to learn from his performance. And, hey, aggression wins poker tournaments.
That's outstanding. And, that's going to do it. GG's all in the chat. Everybody enjoyed this conclusion to the final table. Shout out to Poker Atlas one more time, John and Jamie, the whole team at Poker Atlas for putting on a great event. And we so appreciate everyone's engagement tonight as well as the participation, the 1,300 entries we had for the tournament. Matt, as we head on out for the rest of our week, do you have anything to close with?
Yes, 10, 25, 50, no limit hold'em on Tuesday. I'll say it right now. It's the best poker show on the internet. Tuesday nights here at TCH Live Dallas. I'll be there, you be there, and that's it.
That's right. I love it. And for Matt and Victor and the rest of the TCH team, my name's Ben. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you have a good week, and good night, everybody.